Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh, everyone. Welcome back to another episode of the Islamic Calling Podcast. We are now starting the stream. By the way, I have to apologize for being late. Actually, there's a lot of stuff we had to do, so couldn't come in at the right time. But we're both here now, so inshallah, we'll start the stream very, very soon. So let me bring in brother MENJ, and here we go. Assalamualaikum, bro. Oh, you're muted.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi. Yeah, I just unmuted myself. Don't worry. Yeah. So
Waalaikumsalam.
waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi everyone. Yeah. So I hope there are viewers who's gonna watch this. Gonna have
There's
a
one
good
brother
time. I
here
think.
already. By the way, guys,
Yeah.
post W in the chat
Yeah.
or whatever
Please
you guys
W.
post.
Post W in the chat. Huh? Yeah.
By the way, are you watching the World Cup?
I'm waiting until the round of 32 because watching the group matches is too overwhelming for me. So yeah, I'm just waiting for my team to get through, which they did, by the way. I'm supporting England again.
Oh,
Yeah, yeah. I've always supported England at every World Cup. So hopefully England will bring football home. It's coming home, hopefully.
yeah. I mean, I kind of supported Germany in the past, but I'm like, Germany is kind of anti-Palestinian, so you know what? Screw them. I support Iran now. You know, it's funny. I actually saw a poster in Bangladesh where they were
Hmm.
congratulating Iranian football team.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
Okay, that's
yeah, yeah.
interesting.
It's kind of
Okay.
interesting.
All right.
And
Okay.
so, yeah. So, by the way, I think I haven't shared this story on stream, so I'm going to share it. So, in
Right.
Bangladesh, there was an incident where some people, basically some Hindu or some atheists, they basically took down the Kalama flag, the Shahada flag, the white flag.
Yeah.
And after that, the flag has been appearing all over Bangladesh. So, that's been a funny,
Oh my
interesting
god.
incident that
That's so
happened.
hilarious, yeah. That's so hilarious, man. Yeah.
So, by the way, bro, did you have a chance to watch the debate that we are gonna review, inshallah?
All right.
Did you hear that?
Sorry.
Can you
Do
hear
you want
me?
to play it? Yeah, I can hear you. Yeah, yeah. Loud and clear, yeah. Can you
Yeah.
hear me?
What I was asking was that did you have a chance to watch the debate that we're gonna
Yeah,
review?
I did watch the debate. It was very like I told you before, it was very painful to watch. I find that I think he's a bit disingenuous in certain parts. He keeps pushing the Aisha is Aisha your manager Aisha Muhammad is a pedophile the p word. I know you can use the word, but by the way, you should avoid using the word on YouTube because that might
Yeah, yeah,
cause
yeah.
the video to be flagged. So we can kid the fiddler, kid the
Oh,
fiddler.
brother, Dead Inside is
Ah,
here. He's
yeah, I
always
told him.
first.
Yeah, yeah, I
Walaikum
told him
salam, bro.
about the stream. Yeah, yeah. Salam alaikum. Yeah,
Walaikum salam,
walaikum
bro.
salam. Yeah,
All
good
good
to
at the
see you.
stream.
Yeah, yeah. Finally, huh? Yeah, yeah. So,
Well,
so,
good.
so, yeah. So going back to the debate, it was basically, Muhammad was a fiddler,
Yeah, yeah,
fiddler. He was
yeah,
keep repeating the same thing all over again, even though this issue has been like explained, to the death. I think I'm
yeah.
already quite tired of actually trying to discuss it, but I think some people needs to be taught a lesson, and hopefully we can do that today, inshallah.
Yeah, inshallah, inshallah. By the way, if you want, you have a paper on it. You can share it by yourself. You can highlight the portions that you want to.
Yeah. I mean, maybe throughout the debate, we can do that. Yeah. So maybe
Inshallah.
not at the
All
not at
right,
the
all
time,
right.
not at
So
this time.
we have
Yeah.
two brothers watching. I think Red Inside
Ah.
and one. I don't know who. By the way, bro, post comment. Post some W in the chat. By the way, I learned
Ah.
that for Elisha Speed. W in the
Yeah.
chat.
W in the
I think
chat.
Sneaker
Yeah.
said,
Yeah.
Sneaker said that too. You know what's interesting? Elisha Speed is actually making a lot of Muslim terms popular. I don't know if you noticed this because before, especially in the
Um.
black YouTube circle,
Yeah.
uh,
Yeah.
especially like for example, they are now saying things like "wallahi," "wallahi, bro," this kind of stuff. This didn't exist before. People used to say, "Oh, oh, something like that." But he's really made like "wallahi, bro." This thing really popular.
I saw a Sneeko stream on this. Actually, Sneeko actually mentioned that Aishospi is actually a Muslim. Yeah. I don't know how
Mm.
true that is, though.
Well,
Yeah.
honestly, I wouldn't be surprised. I mean, he does
Yeah.
use a lot of Muslim terms.
Yeah, I think he is a Muslim. Yeah, I mean, it's most likely, yeah, it's possible. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Mm.
All right. It's been 5 minutes, so let's get the show started, inshallah.
Let's get running and bash this fella.
Yeah. Let's get
Yeah,
ready to rumble. All
yeah.
right.
Let's do
Okay.
that.
So before I start, I need
Yeah,
to apologize to the brothers that actually did the debate before.
yeah.
So I actually didn't properly introduce them. So I feel like I need to introduce them. So the brother on the left here. By the way, do you want to guess what his name is?
The Muslim
Brother.
apologetic, right?
Yeah.
I know,
Yeah. Yeah.
I
Yeah.
know, I know of him.
Bro,
Yeah,
he,
yeah,
he stole your
yeah.
title. This
Ah,
is
no,
what
it's
happens when
fine.
you're
It's fine.
absent.
No, that's fine. No, my name is MENJ, but my channel is the Muslim Apologist. Okay, I'm not called the Muslim Apologist. I'm called MENJ, but he calls himself the Muslim Apologetic. That's fine. I mean, there's no contradiction there at all. Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
so
Yeah.
the brother's
And
name is the
yeah,
Muslim Apologetic. The
yeah.
brother on the left, his name is Sira Dawa or Sira Pro. Brother inside Libiano. No, it's not Libiano. It's a new brother who's
No,
become
no.
popular in TikTok and
Liblano,
now he's coming
Liblano
on YouTube.
didn't have. Yeah, Liblano's not here. Yeah, and besides, Liblano
Yeah,
is Canadian, so I don't think he'll be on an American channel anyway. Yeah.
yeah. I think the brother's
Mm.
Canadian.
Yeah.
And on the right is Sister Takashi, I think her name is,
Itachi actually.
inspired by Itachi, inspired by the popular Naruto character, I think. Uh,
Yeah,
uh,
yeah.
yeah, so these are the three Muslims that are going to debate this guy, you
Are there
know,
3 or 4 people right now, by the
Michael
way?
Jones. Yeah, four. But the
Four,
guy
right?
on the left kind of doesn't count, to be honest. There's a
Oh, really?
reason for
Oh,
that.
okay, okay. All right. Yeah.
But overall, this is the debate between these three. Michael Jones, obviously, or
Yeah.
should I call him inspiring philosophy or
IP.
expiring
Yeah.
philosophy, as some people call it.
IP. IP. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm, mm.
So let's get started, inshallah. So yeah, are you ready, bro?
Yeah. Let's rumble.
All right.
By the way,
All
before
right.
we begin, but make sure we don't use the P word, all right, during our
Yeah. Sure.
discussion, yeah, because we don't
I
want
think
your stream
they
to
kind of censor
yeah,
it, censor
yeah,
that
yeah, yeah.
of
No,
the show.
they will flag
Which I,
the
by the way,
stream.
which I do appreciate. Although I do have criticism towards the host of the show,
Yeah,
but I do appreciate that they kind of muted those terms and those
yeah,
insulting language that he used
yeah.
against Islam.
Right.
And another
Okay.
thing, which I'm going to say to the audience, we're not going to be able to review the whole debate because the debate is quite long. We will
Yeah.
try to do as much as we can within 2 hour and 30 minutes, or I guess
Right.
that would be
Right.
uh,
Right.
2 hour 20 minutes or something like that.
Right.
So let's get started, inshallah. Bismillah.
Flourishing. Why were the Jews flourishing in Spain? The persecuted the rest of the Christian
I'm a Christian. What Muhammad did was evil. He's not a good moral example. He should be thrown out because he's actually causing all sorts of harm. We see this happening in Iraq.
You're appealing to emotions.
So you think it's okay to do the manual? I just want to be clear.
Is Christianity better?
Yeah, this is the kind of garbage he's gonna throw out throughout the debate. Now, when it comes to his like moral arguments, I'm gonna present some of my own counter arguments to his supposed moral arguments. But yeah, let's get started. Inshallah.
For society than Islam?
I obviously say yes. And when we assert that, we have to.
Is Christianity better for society than Islam?
I
So
obviously
the
say
debate is basically about is Christianity better for society than Islam? That's
Yeah. Yeah.
yes.
Yeah.
And when we assert that, we have to. I'm hoping today we can touch on several topics because there are several things to look at when we're looking at these different religions and knowing which is going to produce better results. And that's the key here, which is going to produce better results. So, whole well-rounded thing here. So we're not talking about which we think is more moral. We're not talking about which we think is true. We're talking about which religion is going to produce better societies. And in terms of several metrics, Christianity just outperforms Islam on many, many, many important things. So I will start with three. I'm hoping to get to more. There's a bunch of things. So I would say, first of all, Islam
when I
allows and promotes
first-
child marriage. That is
when I
extremely bad
first
for
heard that,
society.
that made me
That leads
laugh.
to harm done to.
When I first heard
Yeah.
that statement, it made me laugh because it came across to my mind all sorts of the things that Christianity has done throughout the ages. None of them good. So, as what Jesus said, a good a good tree produces good fruit, and a bad tree produces bad fruit. And frankly speaking, Christianity is a bad tree, and everything it produces is
Yeah,
mostly bad.
I mean all the kind of like the worst evils you can think of actually
Yeah.
stemmed from Christianity or at least early Christianity.
Exactly. And most of the ideologies, the secularist ideologies that you see now in the world, it began because of Christianity. Because it was a reaction to Christianity. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like atheism, for
For
example.
example-
Atheism is a reaction to Christianity.
Yeah. Like for example, if you look at some of the early wars that happened in Christian history, for example, they completely wiped out any heretical sects. Like that just is thing that actually happened.
Yeah.
They wiped out all the other heretical sects. They
Yes.
completely silenced any opposition,
Yeah.
naming them as heretics. They kind
Yes.
of
Yes.
silenced the Arian
Yeah.
movement. They
Yeah.
silenced the
Yeah.
all the other movement that was kind of critical of the Trinity, uh,
Yeah.
and not to mention all the things that they did to their neighbors,
Yeah.
looting.
There was this Unitarian in the 16th or 17th century. Wait, let me pull out his name. Michael Servetus. Yeah, he was burned at the stake. Okay,
Can
because
you share
the
that?
yeah. So let me let me
I'll share
share
it on the screen, inshallah.
let me share the Wikipedia entry. Hang on. Okay, so this guy was a Unitarian. He uh was opposed to the idea of the Trinity. He wrote a treatise called wait, let me find the title. He actually wrote a treatise. He wrote, yeah, so dialogues on the Trinity. That's one, and then there's on the
Hmm.
errors of the Trinity. Yeah. So there's this small booklet of his entitled "On the Errors of the Trinity." So
Uh,
the church put him on trial for
oh
that.
wait, isn't he a scientist also?
He's not really well known for his scientific work. He's more well known for his anti-Trinitarian views. Yeah. Okay. I mean,
Yeah.
I know what he says here. He says that he's a physician, cartographer. I mean,
Hmm.
honestly, I never knew of him until I found out that this guy rejected the Trinity. So he's more famous for that, and he died because of that. They actually condemned him. So this is the particular statement. The
Yeah, I
particular
think they
instigate.
burned him alive, right?
Yeah, they burn him alive. Yeah, they burn
That's
at the
that's a
stake for
crazy thing,
heresy.
by the way.
Yeah,
Also,
yeah,
let's not forget
yeah.
what they did to Joan of Arc, who later on became a saint, even though
Oh
she was
yeah,
pretty
Jonah.
much.
Yeah, yeah.
So
She was executed
imagine
for
this,
for
right?
heresy.
Imagine
Yeah,
if I call you a heretic and burn you alive. Then later on,
yeah,
I think, you know what? Maybe I was wrong. So you're a saint now.
yeah. So this is the work that caused him to be burned at the stake on the errors of the Trinity. Okay,
uh,
so
the
I
errors of
actually
the
have it on my
Interesting.
yeah. I have it on my website. The whole parts of the treatise. I actually have that on my website. Yeah.
Interesting.
So yeah.
and
So
and
that's yeah.
also not just that, like there are so many other kind of like
No, I haven't honestly. I haven't gone through all that. The most famous work of his is this particular one that I am highlighting here. The rest I've never seen it. Yeah,
yeah.
it's not really
And
well known for
also,
those anyway. Yeah,
yeah, also not just that, I mean, like uh, for example, if you look at the crusades itself, like
yeah,
the endless amount of bloodshed that happened hundreds of years after Muslims took over those areas, like
yeah.
that's basically a pre kind of like a trailer to all the invasions and colonization that West did later on.
Right,
you
right,
know
right,
now I do
right.
say that is a trailer because you need to understand that when the crusades happened, it was basically a massive force that has no stake in the land, coming into the
Yeah,
land, exploiting the land, killing the people of the land, and
yeah,
then eventually leaving. Right? That's what I mean. Right? And
yeah.
that's
That's
exactly
right.
what happened.
That's right.
So it's a trailer for colonization. Walaikum salam, bro. Welcome to the stream, inshallah. We're reviewing the
Mm,
debate between Michael Jones and three
mm.
Muslims.
Walaikum
All
salam.
right, so
Yeah,
let's keep watching, inshallah.
yeah.
Let's see what else it
Let's
says.
continue. Yeah.
Girls harm to their offspring, which leads to inferior societies. Islam also allows cousin marriage. Christianity, because of our
Cousin
ecclesiology, has
marriage.
gotten rid of cousin marriage. So that means that we produce better societies because more cousin marriage leads to lower IQ, more birth defects, and actually less economic prosperity. And the third thing I'll bring up
Oh
is
my
actually the,
god.
the practice of polygyny.
By the way, this is such a garbage argument. I already debunked
Uh,
this. Like
I
all the
mean,
supposed
do you
cousin
want me
marriage.
to produce a biblical verse where there was a cousin marriage?
Yeah, yeah, sure, bro. Go ahead.
Hang on,
But
let me find the
actually,
verse.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
Okay. Never mind. While I'm looking for the verse, you can speak if you want. Yeah, go ahead.
yeah, sure. Brother Onoku says these type of debates are pointless. To be fair, though, like I think the brothers did a good job. I wouldn't say it's completely kind of like pointless in the sense that I do think they're reaching some of his audience, some of the Christian audience, but in most cases, I do agree that a lot of Christians are just stuck in their ways. They don't want to.
Mm,
Brother Trade Side says the same stupid argument: cousin marriage, 9-year-old. Yeah.
yeah. Okay.
By the way,
sharing
what
that.
you need to understand is that the debate topic is that, which is worse for society? So far, he mentions two things, both of which is allowed in Christianity. I mean, age of marriage, there's no age of marriage in Christianity.
Yeah,
Okay?
there isn't.
There's nothing
There
in the
isn't.
Bible that says that this is the age you can marry.
Yeah.
It doesn't exist.
Yeah.
As a matter
Yeah.
of Moses himself, which I'll bring out the verse later, Moses himself told his disciples to, uh, you know, uh, take the young ones when they conquered the land of Canaan and Midianites. You know,
Mm.
so by the way, and we shared the
Yeah.
this one, right?
Oh, can you? Yeah. Yeah. It's that one. Yeah. Can I like enlarge the text? Okay. Can you
Sure,
see
sure,
it?
sure, sure. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Can you see it?
Yeah, yeah. Can you read the verse?
Yeah. So it's it's from Numbers 36, verse number 10. Okay. So you have to keep in mind that this was a this was commanded by God, okay, through Moses, okay. So it's not something arbitrary. It's not something that they made their minds up without consultation or anything of the sort. In case the Christians want to argue, oh, this is not a command from God. Okay, so this is actually a command from God. So verse number 10. So Zelophehad's daughters did as the Lord, yeah, Lord means God, right, commanded Moses. Okay. So
Mm.
through Moses, these daughters of Zelophehad, they followed what was commanded upon them. So Zelophehad's daughters, Mahla, Tirzah, Hogla, Milcah, and Noah, married their cousins on their father's side.
Can I highlight that? Make that
Oh,
yellow.
okay.
Something.
Yeah, right. Okay. Yeah, there you go. Oops. Oh, I can't make it. Oh, yeah. Okay, there you go. Yeah.
Here we
Yeah,
go.
married their cousins on their
Yeah,
father's
send
side.
send that text to Michael, to the expiring
and then
philosopher.
and then it continues. They married within the clan of the descendants of Manasseh, son of Joseph, and their inheritance remained in their father's tribe and clan. So it was commanded upon them to marry their first cousins.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. So
And that's
since
just one. By
since
the way, I didn't even know
yeah
about this verse. I do have some verses myself, but I didn't know about this.
yeah. Actually, I learned this from Libiano. Libiano was the one who showed it. Mm. So
Brother
yeah,
Noku says dog logic, IP, apostate. These people aren't sincere. That's why I'm saying it's pointless to debate with them. Yeah, I agree,
yeah,
bro. I mean, like,
yeah.
I don't know why many Muslims debate them because
I don't
they're just
understand
looking for
why.
attention.
Yeah, exactly. I don't understand why people are giving them too much attention. Actually, frankly, if Muslims were to stop giving them any attention, they will just die out. Okay. The problem is that Muslims are giving them too much attention, especially dog logic. Okay. Yeah,
Mhm.
and that goes back to that
Like
debacle.
again, like
That yeah,
to be fair,
yeah.
if any of this, I think it's giving a platform to some of the younger Muslim apologists and duats. So I think that's a good thing. But
On one hand, yeah,
and I think there could be some open-minded Christians there. But I do think that like giving them debate also making them popular. So
yeah,
it's a
yeah.
double-edged sword.
Yeah,
Brother
there's
Jason.
pros and cons to it, of course. Yeah,
From yeah,
but then again, we get to see great talent like the
yeah,
Muslim
yeah,
apologetic
yeah.
and
Itachi.
Itachii and many others, right? And even
Yeah, yeah.
Libiano too. I mean, previously, have you ever heard of Libiano before he became
No,
popular with Dog Logic? No,
yeah.
right? Yeah, so he really stepped up. Yeah, so yeah, there are many talents now. Yeah, the Cora, for example, yeah, she's just a
Yeah,
great.
yeah.
Yeah,
All
yeah,
right, let's continue. Inshallah. All right,
yeah.
let
So
me
can I
let's
stop sharing? Yeah, I should stop sharing. Yeah, okay. Yeah.
brother Data Insight says, and also Doc Logic, new protege named Bella Liu trying to convert Muslims to Christianity. Huh?
Oh yeah,
Really?
yeah,
I didn't
yeah.
know that.
Mm.
So he has a disciple now.
Yeah, he has a
Wait,
disciple. Yeah,
I
Bella
think
Lee, yeah.
she was in the debate with like three Muslim versus three Christian, right?
Yeah,
She's
she
like a
was. Yeah, she
Asian
was.
girl.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, she was. Yeah, she's Chinese. Yeah,
So she's like a disciple.
yeah, yeah. She's basically repeating the same tropes that Dog Logic presents. Yeah,
Hmm. All right, let's continue.
yeah. Go ahead.
Islam does allow polygyny, but polygyny actually deteriorates society. If you don't know, polygyny is specifically it's a form of polygamy where it's one man and multiple women. So polygamy can be one woman, several men, but polygyny
Yeah.
And can't we find
How
this
many
like
wives?
throughout the
How many
Bible,
wives
man?
did David had?
How many wives did Abraham had? How many wives did Solomon had? I mean, how
Yeah.
many wives did Jacob had? My God, these people are really crazy, man. I mean, I don't even, do I even need to bring up the verses? I don't think I need to, man. So
No,
obvious.
I don't think we need to bring up the verses. I think we can bring some of them up because the thing is, the
Yeah,
funny thing is that he doesn't even get to this point because he
yeah,
just gets destroyed earlier, very early on. So he just talks about like the what he thinks is the best argument against Islam, which is
yeah, yeah,
Prophet Sallallahu marriage with Aisha.
yeah. That
But
was
it
his
doesn't help him
argument
either.
throughout. Yeah,
It's
yeah.
such a stupid point. So
It is. It is.
overall, you know what? Let's let him finish his kind of like point, then I'm
Yeah.
gonna make my counter argument against
Yeah.
Christianity. And
Okay.
this one
Good.
is, I think, for the Christians that are watching, like I want you to respond to this argument that I'm gonna make for why Christianity is the worst thing that could happen for society. And please note, the argument I will make is a what do you call it? It's an argument based on modal logic. So, if you want to disprove it, you have to show it based on this idea of the possible worlds, right? So I'm
Actually,
going to make,
actually speaking of which, I actually did a debate on this before. The title was Islam or Christianity, which is the best for society.
hmm,
So I think this was against apostate prophet. Okay,
hmm,
so maybe I can share across the slides later because I did present some information on why Islam is better for society and why Christianity is not good for society. Yeah.
yeah,
So
sure,
maybe
sure,
yeah. So maybe we can do that later. Yeah. Yeah.
sure, sure. So let's finish.
Polygyny is one man, several women. So those three things are three ways in which that Christianity has done away with through trial and error, through understanding of the natural world, through understanding of how we operate as a society, which has produced far better results. So dive in.
কৃতজ্ঞতা তাদের প্রতি যারা আমাকে বিশ্বাস করেছেন আল্লাহর
Sorry
ঘরে
about that.
মেহমান হিসেবে
Who wants to begin? Okay, yeah. So when it comes to the three critiques, I think obviously this needs some time to dissect. It's very general. There's a lot of data that we need to process. But to begin, what we're trying to compare is obviously what we're establishing is that we have Islam, we have Christianity. If implemented in society, which one yields the better results, right? In terms of moral values that we can both agree upon, right? Now, when it comes to the first one, you said not only did you say that when we have Muslims that would practice child marriage, you specifically said that Islam allows it. So I want to quickly focus on that. Where do you get the understanding from that Islam allows child marriage, given the fact that the Messenger, peace and blessing upon him, explicitly says in authentic narration, "La darara wa la dirar," no harm, no reciprocating harm. So the Messenger already explicates and says that when it comes to any relationship, if there's harm involved,
Oh, okay. So before we get into this kind of like argument
Yeah.
he's making, I'm gonna make my argument for why Christianity is the worst thing that could happen to society. And I think this is a bit of a mistake that the brothers made here because they didn't actually make a proper kind of like argument against Christianity because I think
Yeah.
that was needed. So my argument against Christianity would be as very simple. It's that Christianity allows genocide. Okay. And
Right.
I can like basically point to this based on three main arguments, which means all of these arguments will support each other. So let's
Right.
go through them. So Christianity. So for example, I think we can all agree that genocide, as human beings, genocide is the worst thing you could do to other human beings, like in any society. Like, can we agree to that, right? Like everyone agrees to that. I don't think anyone will like be like, "No, I think genocide is fine." I don't think unless
Right.
unless
Right.
you're a psycho,
Right.
right?
Right. Yeah.
I don't think you can argue against this, right? I think you can all agree genocide is wrong. You shouldn't commit
Yeah.
genocide, right?
Right. Right.
So, for example, Moses was directly commanded by God in the Bible to commit genocide against Amalekites and the Midianites and a bunch of other people. So, for
Right,
example,
right.
if you read Deuteronomy
Right. Right. Right.
20:16 to 18, and I think Brother MENJ is familiar with this verse, but let me share it anyway.
Yeah.
Here we go.
By all means.
Let me share the screen. And so, yeah, let's read this. The vengeance on the Midianites. The Lord said to Moses,
This was yeah.
Lord said to Moses, take vengeance on the Midianites for the Israelites. After that, you will be gathered to your people. Now, by the way, let me ask you, bro, like what did the Midianites do that they deserve this?
Unfortunately, I don't quite recall it. I think they made war against the Israelites. Yeah, I think they were, and of course they were worshippers, idol worshippers, and they had their own
Yeah.
culture, and they were also attacking the Israelites as well. So God instructed the Israelites to go against the Midianites for this. Yeah. Not just the Midianites, but also other
Mm.
races as well. Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah. So basically, the idea here is that the Midianites. So basically, God has commanded Moses to commit
Yes.
this genocide,
Yes.
completely
Yes.
wipe them out. So let's read verse 16 and 17 to see how they did this.
Mhm.
Sorry, here. They were the ones who followed Balaam's advice and enticed the Israelites to be unfaithful to the Lord
Yeah.
in the pure
Yeah. That reason.
incidents.
Yeah. So
Here's
Balaam
the
was one
reason.
of their idols. Yeah. Yeah. That's the reason. Yeah.
So
Yeah.
basically, they basically went away from this Jewish cult, right?
Mm.
They went
Yeah.
away, and so that made God mad. And so he decided that,
Mm.
you know what? Instead of giving dawah to them, instead of preaching about this religion, just
Yeah,
go and kill them.
let's go kill all of
Just
them.
kill them, man.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like, why not?
Yeah.
So
Yeah. It's
that
not
was the
just the
logic.
Midianites, by the way. It's not just the
Yeah,
Midianites. You know, you should show
yeah,
the other verses too later.
yeah, yeah. So just kill them. So the plague struck the Lord's people. So that's the funny thing. So they went against Christianity, and he sent the plague, right? So he sent the plague. So he already killed his people, right? But whatever is remaining, now they have to kill them too. Now kill all the boys and kill
Yeah.
every woman who has slept with a man. But save for yourself every girl who has never slept with a man.
Yeah.
Now, again, what do you think that means? The kind of like the word that's used here literally means
Obviously,
little ones.
obviously virgins and little girls. Yeah. Obviously that. Yeah.
So here again, like there's no arguments you can make against this. This is clear that God is commanding His prophet to commit a genocide because this is literally talking about kill everyone. Right?
Yeah.
It's clear. Kill every woman and kill all the boys and every woman. That's genocide.
No doubt.
So
Yeah.
that's one verse. Then, of course, there's the genocide of the Amalekites.
Yeah.
For example, if you read Deuteronomy 25, 17 to 19, share it.
Yeah.
Share it. Go. Share it. Go. Yeah. By the way, this verse is used by Israel right now to commit genocide and massacres against Palestinians.
Yeah. Yeah. Netanyahu mentioned this in his speech. Yeah.
And this is why my argument is so powerful, right? It's not just that this is prescribed in the text, it's actually being applied right now. You can actually see it live right now, right? The effect of this book. So this is Deuteronomy 25, 17 to 19. It says, remember what the Amalekites did to you along the way when you came out of Egypt. When you were weary and worn out, they met you on your journey and attacked all who were lagging behind. And they had no fear of God. When the Lord your God gives you rest from all the enemies around you in the land, He is giving you possession as an inheritance. You shall blot out the name of Amalek from the under heaven, from under the heaven. Do not forget. So, what happened is that these Jews, they lost the war, right? They got attacked. They took an L, right? So God decided, hundreds after hundreds of years, you know what? I'm going to take revenge on these people. So He commands His prophets to wipe them out. And then what happens is that He uses Prophet Samuel to tell King Saul to do the deed. And this is mentioned in 1 Samuel 15, 1 to 3. 1 to 3. Let me share that. Share the screen. Here we go. The Lord rejects Saul as king. Right? 1 Samuel 15, 1 to 3. Samuel said to Saul, I am the one the Lord sent to anoint you king over his people, Israel. So listen now to the message from the Lord. This is what the Lord Almighty says. I will punish the Amalekites for what they did to Israel when they laid them as they camp up from Egypt. Now go, now go attack the Amalekites and totally destroy all the belongings to them. Do not spare them. Put to death man and woman, children and infant, cattle and sheep, camels and donkeys. So, just so Christians want to wiggle out, nothing is survived. Like everything is put to death. This is genocide. Like this is clear-cut genocide according to Geneva Convention. By the way,
Total wipeout of everything. Scorched
Wait,
earth policy.
yeah, scorched earth. By the way, even if it was just some population, it would still be genocide. By the way, but because it is like all of it, it's like genocide with a big G. You know. So,
Yeah. Yeah, it's
and
horrible.
what's funny is that Saul actually did not kill all of them because he felt bad. He actually saved their king, and then God got angry. All right. So let's read.
Yeah.
Let's read. Highlight this. So it's in. Yeah. Hold on. Let me share this. Yeah. Yeah. Where is it?
Yeah,
Oh,
I
there-
did
there we
obey
go.
the Lord. Yeah, 20. Yeah,
Yeah.
19 and 20. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. So basically, Samuel is telling Saul, asking Saul, why did you not obey the Lord? And why did you pounce on the
Pounce.
plunder and do evil in the eye of the Lord?
Yeah.
Then he replies, but I did obey the Lord, Saul said. I went on the mission the Lord assigned me. I completely destroyed the Amalekites and brought back Agag, their king.
Genocide. Genocide
The
enabler.
soldiers took sheep and cattle from the plunder, the best of what was devoted to God, in order to sacrifice them to the Lord your God at Gilgal. But Samuel replied, does the Lord delight in burnt offering and sacrifice as much as in obeying the Lord? To obey is better than sacrifice. Do you see what's happening? Do you understand what's happening here? So this king, right? He is commanded by God to commit genocide. He does it,
Yeah,
but
yeah.
he spares a few sheeps and a king, right? Because
Yeah.
he wanna keep like a political benefit, right?
yeah.
But then God gets angry. Why are they alive? So you must kill
do you
them
leave,
too.
Why do you leave some
So
bounty
you,
around? So you
yeah.
should
Now
kill
you're
all
gonna
of
get
them.
punished because you refuse to commit genocide. Just understand this. He refused to commit genocide. That's why he's getting punished.
Oh my
Like,
God. Yeah.
this book, man, is gonna make
Oh,
Hitler
no.
blush.
Oh my God. Yeah. And this is
This
what
book,
inspiring philosophy wants us to believe in, right?
yeah, this book is gonna make Hitler blush. It's gonna make Mussolini blush. You know?
Stalin blush. Yeah, let's not forget Stalin. Yeah.
Yeah, like this is wild. This is wild.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
And what's funny is that because Christians could argue that, oh, this is just in the Old Testament. No, Paul approves of this message in the New Testament, right?
Mm.
For example, let's read
Show the verse, yeah.
Acts 30:19. There we go. Here we go. Let me share the screen. Yeah, Acts 30:19. By the way, this is Paul speaking. This is Paul speaking. Now in the church at Antioch, there were prophets and teachers. Barnabas, Simon called Niger, Lucian, Cyrene, Manaen, who had been brought up with Herod the Tetrarch, and Saul. While they were worshiping the Lord and fasting, the Holy Spirit said, set apart for me Barnabas and Saul for the work which I have called them. Wait, hold on.
Okay. Yeah, this is, yeah. calling on a mission to Cyprus. Yeah.
Where is it? Here we go. And okay, so this is where he starts speaking. Standing up, Paul motioned with his head and said, "Fellow Israelites and you Gentiles who worship God, listen to me. The God of the people of Israel chose our ancestors. He made the people prosper during their stay in Egypt. With mighty power, he led them out of the country. For about 40 years, he endured their conduct in the wilderness, and he
Wilderness.
overthrew 7 nations in Canaan." By the way, just to give you guys some idea, 7
7.
nations were committed genocide
Gen-
against. Like they wiped
Genocided.
them out.
Yeah.
Yeah, 7 countries,
Yeah.
7 nations in Canaan, giving their land to his people as their inheritance. By the way, this is not only a justification for genocide; it's also justification for colonization, because they're taking their land. They're taking their land and they're basically plundering it at the cost of the native people. That's colonization. And all this took about 450 years.
No.
So here, do you see Paul condemning this?
Nope. He's just
Oh.
repeating the same thing
Yeah.
as per
He's
the
proud
Old
of it.
Testament.
He's saying, look, our ancestors for 450 years, look how they achieved this victory against these disbelievers, these Amalekites and whatnot,
Yeah.
Canaanites and whatnot, right?
Yeah.
So Paul approved of this. And of course, Jesus approved of this as well.
Yeah. I mean, if
Now-
Jesus is God, as per the
Yep.
Christian belief, then it means that Jesus commanded
Yeah.
Samuel to commit genocide.
Yeah, and not just that, like Jesus says that, like, I did not come here to, what's the verse? I did not come here to disobey the law.
Oh, I did not come here to
Fulfill- I have
change the
come
law,
here to
but to
fulfill the law.
fulfill it. Yeah.
Yeah.
I have not come here to abolish the law, but to fulfill it. Yeah. This is
Yeah.
in Mark. Yeah.
This is in Mark.
Yeah.
So all of these arguments makes it clear that genocide is allowed in Christianity, both
Yeah.
in the Old Testament and the New Testament.
Right.
Now in Islam, obviously that's not allowed, because we're not allowed to kill unarmed civilians. This is made clear
Yeah,
in
you cannot,
Quran.
you cannot, yeah, you
Surah
cannot
Baqarah.
destroy the trees, you cannot destroy the monasteries, you cannot destroy the churches, the synagogues,
Yeah.
you cannot burn their,
Surah Baqarah.
their orchards.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's an ethic behind it.
2190.
Yeah, I mean, the Quran sanctions war, but in what conduct, in what way must war be conducted? So there are certain guidelines in order to establish yourself during wartime. So you don't find this kind of ethics in the Old Testament or then even the New Testament. Okay, it's totally absent. Yeah, basically in the Bible, it's a free for all. You can do whatever you want. You want to be merciful, you want to be violent, you want to commit genocide. That's up to you. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah. So this is what the Quran says: 2190. Fight in the cause of Allah only against those who wage war against you, but do not exceed His limits. Allah do not like transgressors. So what's the command here? Fight in the cause of Allah only against those who wage war against you.
Yeah. Yeah.
Or
So it's a
against
defensive
those
war. Yeah. Yeah. So it's a
who
defensive
are
war.
against you.
It's not a war that you can start. You need
So-
to like
Not necessarily
defend
defensive, to be fair. This is basically saying wage war against those who wage war against you.
Yeah.
It can't be
yeah.
offensive, because if you don't have a
Yeah.
treaty with a nation,
I mean strategically, yes,
fighting.
yes, of course. Yeah.
So-
yeah.
basically it's talking about fighting armed people, soldiers, right? Because
Right.
obviously an unarmed people cannot fight against you, right?
Yeah.
And it's
Yeah.
clear from this verse. Then it is made even more clear in the hadith in Sunan Abi Dawud. But Prophet ﷺ clearly tells Khalid ibn Walid, do not harm civilians.
Yeah.
Share the hadith. There we go. Yeah. Hadith on jihad, the Prophet forbade killing of civilians and children.
Yeah.
Rabi ibn Rabi reported, we were with Messenger of Allah, peace and blessings be upon him, during a military expedition. The Prophet ﷺ saw some people gathered around something, and so he sent a man saying, go ahead, see what they have gathered, why they have gathered. The man returned and said, it was a woman who was killed. The Prophet ﷺ said, she was not fighting. Khalid ibn Walid was in the advanced guard. So the Prophet sent a man to him saying, do not kill women and workers. Here is the important line. She was not fighting, right? So the fight, the jihad, is against people who can fight back. Right? It's not against innocent civilians who cannot fight back.
Right.
Both the Quran verse makes it clear, and this absolutely makes it clear. and this is a rule. This is a rule of jihad.
Right.
So now, based on this, we can clearly see Christianity allows genocide, but Islam doesn't. So based on this, I think we can make a very simple argument. Let me share my my document here so we can see the argument I'm referring to. There we go. There we go. By the way, can you guys see it?
No, I can't see anything yet.
Can you see it now?
Ah, yes, it's there now.
All right, all right. So here is the argument. Anything that causes genocide can be good for society. Christianity causes genocide. Therefore, Christianity can be good for society. Okay? This is a sound argument. It's a very simple, sound argument. Okay? And you cannot
Okay.
argue against this.
Okay.
Right?
Okay.
Because it's true. Anything that causes genocide can be good for society. Christianity definitely
Yes.
causes genocide. Therefore,
Yes.
Christianity can be good for society. Right?
Yes. Yeah,
So it's simple.
exactly that. Yeah.
And not just that, Christianity also promotes killing innocent people for the crimes of other people. Right?
Mm.
And by the way, this is also evident in the verses I mentioned, because here basically Amalekites and Midianites and all these people were killed based on the crime of other people, right? Because this mostly happened in the previous generation, where there's some previous generation they basically go against God, some of them are punished, and then God sends these prophets to completely wipe out everyone, even including children. But of course, the
Yeah.
children didn't do anything, right? So he's punishing people for the crimes of others, right?
Mm.
And also, again, Christianity this basically promotes this this ethic. So let me share another verse.
Yeah.
Let me share this. Share the screen. Yeah, here we go. 1 Corinthians 15:3. For what I received, I passed on to you as of the first importance, that Christ died for our sins according to the scriptures. So what does that mean? It means they believe, Christians believe, that Jesus was killed for their sins, which basically means an innocent person was killed for a crime he didn't commit, right? That's basically what it is. This is injustice, all right?
Mhm.
So not only is Christianity promoting genocide, it's promoting injustice, where an innocent person can be killed for the crimes of others. Just like the Canaanite children were killed, Jesus was also killed
Right.
for crimes of others, right? So this is literally messed up morality it's teaching. So based on this, we can make another argument.
Right.
Share the window here. Let me know if you can see it. Can you see it?
Yeah, I can see it. Yeah.
All right. So this is the argument. Anything that causes and justifies killing innocent people for the crimes of others is bad for society. Christianity causes and justifies killing Jesus for the crimes of others, and of course, the innocent Midianites and Amalekites. Therefore, Christianity is bad for society.
Right.
I mean, this is clear, right? I mean, like it's literally teaching you that it's okay to kill innocent people. Then what did like Hitler do wrong in that case, right? He also justified it, justified his massacres same way.
Yeah.
So, yeah. And then the third argument that I'm going to make is that obviously Christianity promotes colonialism, right? And for this, I'm going to actually use something that will happen, according to the Bible, something that will happen in the future, not necessarily what happened in the past. So let's share this passage. Oh, hold on.
Yeah.
So this is from Revelation. This is from Revelation. Share
Right.
this. By the way, some of these passages in Revelation is extremely disturbing. It-
Yeah, it's a dream sequence of future events, so to speak, when
Yeah,
the
yeah.
Messiah allegedly comes. So you find that there are a lot of things which
they
quite
even
violent.
mentioned dragons, man.
Yeah,
They
yeah,
mentioned
I know.
dragons
Yeah,
like Game of Thrones.
exactly
Lord of the
that. Yeah.
It's
Yeah, Lord
wild.
of the Rings style. Yeah, it is. It is. It is very well.
So
And all this took place, by the way, in a dream sequence. The guy is writing his dream from the beginning to the end. Yeah, he's writing in a dream sequence.
uh,
It's not
all right.
even it's not
So
even based on history or anything of the sort. Yeah.
yeah.
Mm.
So Revelation 14:19 9 to 11. A third angel followed them and said in a loud voice, "If anyone worships the beast and its image and receives its mark on their forehead or on their hand, they too will drink the wine of God's fury, which has been poured full strength into the cup of his wrath. They will be
Yeah.
tormented with burning sulfur in the presence of the holy angels and of the Lamb." So it's talking about killing all the people who will be worshiping, quote unquote, the beast, right?
Mm.
Now, please note, you could always give dawah to them, right? You can preach to them, but
Yeah.
that's not what's being described as. It's a
Mm.
description of complete destruction.
Yeah. Yeah. Subjugation. Yeah.
Yeah, and not just subjugation. These people always live in different countries, which
Yeah.
means then taking the land. In other words, colonization. And the
Yeah.
smoke of their torment will rise forever and ever. There will be no rest day or night for those who worship the beast and its image, or for anyone who received the mark or its name. So it's a genocide against people who have the so-called mark. And you know what's funny is
Mm.
that the people who receive the mark will receive it by force, meaning they didn't have a choice, right?
Yeah.
They were forced to be given the mark. Otherwise,
Right.
they were killed. So
Yes.
imagine this, right? You basically force a bunch of people to have this mark, and then Jesus comes and kills all those people, even though they didn't choose the mark by themselves. They were forced.
Right. 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 Right.
Like this is
Yeah.
supposed to be their merciful Jesus. Hold on, let
Yeah.
me
Not so
share the
merciful
passage.
after all. Yeah.
Yeah, let me share the passage where it's written that they were actually be forced to be given the mark. Share it. But I'm willing to hear any counter arguments from any Christians. So far, I see none of them here. Where did they go?
How many people are watching the stream now? By the way, do you have a number?
Alhamdulillah, we have 10 people watching.
Wow, that's quite a high number of people.
So it's in Revelation 13:15 to 17. It says, "The second beast was given power to give breath to the image of the first beast, so that the image could speak and cause all who refuse to worship the image to be killed." So did you see what it's saying? So that the image could speak and cause all who refuse to worship the image to be killed. Meaning the people who will refuse to worship it will be killed. So what
Right.
choice do you have here? Right? It also forced all people, great and small, rich and poor, free and slave, to receive a mark on their right hands and on their foreheads.
Right.
See, it says
Mhm.
forced. Forced.
Hmm.
Forced all the people to have received the mark on their forehead. So
Right.
that they could not buy or sell unless they had the mark, which is the name of the beast, and the number of his name. So that means that
Right.
these people will be forced to be given this mark, and then, well, when Jesus comes, he's gonna kill them.
Right.
So,
Right.
like, what did they do wrong here? Like, can anyone explain? So basically, this is talking about colonization. In other words, like he's gonna come, he's gonna take over their land and kill all of them simply because they have the quote unquote mark, right?
Right. Right.
Even though they didn't choose the mark.
Mm.
So this is extremely disturbing stuff.
Mhm.
And so let me make the final argument against Christianity for why it's actually horrible for society. Share the screen, and then we'll go back to his Michael's argument.
Yeah. Right.
So this is the argument. Anything that justifies and causes genocide, killing innocent and harmful colonization, both in the past and in the present, is harmful for society.
Yes.
Christianity justifies and causes genocide, killing innocent and harmful colonization, both in
Colonization.
the past and in the future.
Future, yeah.
Therefore, Christianity is harmful for society. So,
Good syllogisms. Yeah. Good
yeah.
points.
By the way, I want to explain something. So, oh, hold on. I think there's another thing that I skipped over. Yeah, yeah. Hold on. So another thing I want to bring up, which is the idea of modal logic, right? So modal logic is this idea that you can make an argument based on possibility, right? For example, if I say that uh, if X is possible in all possible world, then X is possible in our possible world, right? It logically follows,
Mm.
right? Because the thing is that if something is possible in all possible conceivable reality, it's possible in
Right.
our conceivable reality, right?
Yes,
So
that's right.
basically, you can make arguments based on this.
Yeah.
So the way you kind of either prove or disprove something is by show a contradiction in a possible world. So if you can show a contradiction in a possible world, then it's not possible, right?
Mm. Mm.
So based on this, I think we can make this argument that so basically the way it works is that you have to show that an argument is necessarily true, not possibly true. And in order to show that our argument is necessarily true, it's true in all possible worlds, right? Meaning in all conceivable reality, it has to be true. So based on this, if we can make the argument that is genocide harmful for society in all possible world, the answer is yes, right? I don't think anyone can argue and say that genocide is not harmful in some possible way. You cannot argue that.
Right.
And
Right.
Christianity, both in the past and in the present, will cause genocide, right?
Mm. Mm.
It will cause genocide. That's why it's Christianity justifies and causes genocide, killing innocent and harmful colonization, both in the past and in the future. Therefore, Christianity is harmful for the society in all possible worlds.
Mm.
That means it's necessarily true that Christianity is harmful in our world,
Mm.
right?
That's
Because it's harmful in the past and it's harmful in the future. So it's a necessarily true statement, right? You can't
Yeah.
make any other
Yeah.
argument against it.
Yeah.
And the difference between my argument and Michael's argument is that Michael will make an argument based on a possibility, right? Oh, it's possible because the data says this. But that doesn't mean that data is this. And I'll show this, how he's making this mistake.
Okay.
He'll bring up some research data from random places. But it doesn't prove his point because it only shows possibility, right? And possibility is not a necessary argument. Anyway, so I think I'm going to stop sharing that. Now let's give to the debate, inshallah.
Yeah.
So I hope my argument is clear. It's basically modal logic, and it's necessarily true that Christianity is harmful for society. It's harmful in all possible worlds. It caused harm by causing genocide in the past, and it caused harm it will cause harm by causing genocide in the future. So it's harmful in all possible world, therefore it's harmful in our world. So it's necessarily harmful. But let's continue, inshallah.
Yeah.
All right.
Is going to be impermissible. So how do you get around that? Now, if you're going to argue that a more fundamentalist approach of the Quran and the Sunnah would allow for this, rather than a traditional approach, that's a different argument, but you specifically said that Islam allows for it. So what would be the evidence for that?
So yeah, great. So yeah, let's start with that. So with regarding the harm principle to start, that's obviously interpreted different because, for example, Sahih al-Bukhari allows for the killing of apostates, but that's going to harm them, but you're not going to throw that out. You're going to allow self-defense.
What is he talking about? Like, what does apostasy law has to do with like the harm
Do you
principle?
want me to show the apostasy law in the Bible because it's very juicy?
Sure, bro. Sure.
Okay, let's see. Apostasy. Let me pull it up. Apostasy law, Bible, Old Testament. Let me see if I can find it. It's very juicy. It's actually quite very explicit too. Okay, let me share it now. Okay, I found it. Okay, hang on.
Sure.
Okay, playing around with this. Okay.
By the way,
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, you were saying?
yeah. There you go. Sounds good, inshallah.
Yeah. Yeah, you were saying just now?
Oh yeah. So basically, what basically happened is that he Michael Jones, explaining philosophy, he brought up 3 points, right? And all
Yeah.
of these points will be based on possibility, right? His argument is that Prophet ﷺ did X, Therefore, it will be harmful in our time. It will be harmful in the future, right? That's the argument he's making, but it doesn't follow. Just because, but first of all, the Prophet, when Prophet marriage with Aisha happened, it didn't cause any harm to Aisha, right? There's no evidence of that. Also, no one in that society criticized this. It was completely normal. And then there's no evidence that just because Islam allows marriage with, those who reached puberty, doesn't mean every Muslim in the world will marry those who reached puberty. Like, it just doesn't follow. So in order to show that it is actually harmful, you have to show that it's harmful in all possible worlds. But he can't show that because it's very
Yeah.
much possible that in a world, no Muslims actually marries someone above the age of 15. It's also possible.
Yeah.
So it doesn't
Yeah.
logically follow, right? It's just a possible, kind of like possible arguments that doesn't follow. Like, it's just sure it's possible in some world, but it's also not possible in other worlds, right? So this is speaking nonsense. But yeah, sure. Okay, sure.
You want me to read this out loud, or do you want to read it out loud?
Sure, read it. Sure.
Okay, so it's from Deuteronomy 13. Okay, so I'm reading from verse 1. Okay. If there arises among you a prophet or a dreamer of dreams, and he gives you a sign or wonder, okay, this is about a false prophet, okay, and the sign or the wonder comes to pass, of which he spoke to you, saying, "Let us go after other gods," okay, meaning this guy is saying that he has performed miracles and he's telling the Israelites to worship other gods, okay, which you have not known, and let us serve them, okay, multiple gods, okay. Now, this is the juicy part. You shall not listen to the words of that prophet or that dreamer of dreams. For the Lord your God is testing you to know whether you love God, the Lord your God with all your heart and with all your soul. You shall walk after the Lord your God and fear him and keep his commandments and obey his voice. You shall serve him and hold fast to him. Okay, now this is the best part. Verse number 5. But that prophet or that dreamer of dreams shall be put to death, because he has spoken in order to turn you away from God, who has brought you out of the land of Egypt and redeemed you from the house of bondage. So blah blah blah. Okay, you shall put away your evil from your midst. Okay, now this is about a prophet, a false prophet, preaching something contrary to the teachings of Moses. Okay, now this is the second part. It is the second part of the law. If your brother, the son of your mother, your son or your daughter, the wife of your bosom, or your friend who is as your own soul,
The whole
secretly-
family.
the whole family basically, okay, secretly entices you, saying, "Let us go and serve other gods, which you have not known, neither you nor your fathers. Of the gods of the people which are all around you, near to you, or far off from you, from one end of the earth to the other end of the earth, you shall not consent to him or listen to him, nor shall your eye pity him, nor shall you spare him or conceal him." Okay? But you shall surely kill him. Your hand shall be first against him to put him to death, and afterward the hand of all the people. And you shall stone him with stones until he dies. Okay? You have to stone the guy. Okay?
I wonder if IP has any friends or family
Yeah.
who's an atheist. I wonder
Yeah.
if he's gonna stone them.
Yeah, he has to stone them. Yeah, he has to kill them, because he sought to entice you away from the Lord your God, who brought you out of the land of Egypt from the house of bondage. So all of Israel shall hear and fear, and not again do such wickedness as this among you. Okay, so this is the second part of the law. Okay,
Yeah.
and now this is the third part of the law. If you hear someone in one of your cities, which the Lord your God gives to you to dwell in, saying, "Corrupt men have gone out from among you and enticed the inhabitants of their city, saying, Let us go and worship or serve other gods which you have not known," then you shall inquire, seek out, and ask diligently. And if it is indeed true and certain that such an abomination was committed among you, you shall surely strike the inhabitants of that city with the edge of the sword, utterly destroying it, all that is in it, and its livestock, with the edge of the sword. Wow, this is like mass genocide too.
Yeah,
Okay. And you
yeah, it
shall
wasn't bad
gather.
enough. It wasn't bad enough to kill them.
Yeah,
Gotta commit
and not
genocide.
only that, there's a
Man, he
continuation.
loves genocide, man. Bible authors love genocide. It gets them wild. It gets
Oh
them
my
wild.
God. Yeah, according to Christians, this must be Jesus because Jesus is God, right? So Jesus is commanding the Israelites to strike the inhabitants of the city. Okay, and not only that, there's a continuation to this. And you shall gather all its plunder, meaning all the wealth that the city has, into the middle of the street and
Get them
completely
money.
burn.
Get them money.
Yeah,
Cash money.
get their money, everything, and completely burn with fire the city and all its plunder. You have to burn it down. For the Lord your God, it shall be a heap forever, for it shall not be built again, so that none of the accursed things shall remain in your hand, that the Lord may turn from the fierceness of his anger and show you mercy, have compassion on you, and multiply you, just as he swore to your fathers, because you have listened to the voice of the Lord your God to keep all his commandments. Blah blah blah. So that's pretty much it.
So
So you have to keep in mind there are three parts of the law. Okay. Yeah, so the first one is about a false prophet. So that prophet must be put to death. The second one is about your family members, or your mother, your son, or your brother, your sister, or your daughter, or your son, or even your wife,
dog.
whoever who's close to you. If they ask you to worship another god, you have to stone him or her until he dies. The third one is if there's someone in another city which preaches the worship of another god, you have to strike down the whole city and burn it down.
Take their money.
And
Take their money.
plunder.
Don't forget.
Not just take the money, you have to burn that money
Take
too.
the
You
cash
cannot,
money.
you cannot take the cash money. You have to burn the whole everything. You have to burn it down completely, so that there's nothing left of it. So so there's three, like I said, there's three parts of the law. Yeah. So wow, 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 indeed.
It's funny.
Okay.
So by the way, again, just to iterate. So basically, IP accused that supposedly Islam allows child marriage.
Yeah.
And I think we have established that Christianity allows something far worse. And also, no, Islam doesn't allow child marriage. It's something they're going to get into right now. But in order to respond to that, I think one of the brothers, he kind of brings up this point that what about the harm principle? Because in Islam, we do believe that, you cannot cause harm to other people. So even though Islam does talk about marriage with someone who is raised purity, this doesn't necessarily entail something harmful, right?
Yeah.
Because when we're talking about a society that before kind of modernization, this wouldn't be considered harmful, right? In that sense. So basically, he then counter argues against it and says that, this is gonna be interpreted differently, right? Because of course in Islam it is allowed that apostasy law is allowed, right? But what does apostasy law has to do with marriage? This is a completely irrelevant thing, right? Because the thing is that we're discussing marriage, right? And now obviously the harm principle doesn't apply on warfare because you're supposed to hurt the other party. The harm principle applies in daily life. So what kind of argument is he making here by bringing up warfare? It makes no sense. Anyway, so let's just continue.
Right.
Wars in Islam, but that's going to cause harm to invaders. So that's obviously going to be interpreted.
Oh,
The two main
brother Andolon is here. I forgot to mention.
Yeah.
This
Good to see you.
defends Christianity
Salam
because
alaikum. Yeah.
this defends Christianity because it says that people who teach to worship a God that you did not know must be killed. No Jew believed in a Trinitarian God before Nicaea. Yeah.
Good point. Good point. Yeah. Good point. So anyone who worships the one true God, who doesn't believe in Trinity, must be killed, must be murdered.
Yeah, must be murdered.
Wow.
Oh, by the way, maybe they could get rid of Israel for us. That would be helpful.
Oh, that's a good one. Yeah. That's a good one. Yeah.
Let's continue.
ways we know that Islam allows and promotes child marriage is with the Quran says that Muhammad is the pattern of conduct, but he married Aisha when she was 6 and consummated marriage when she was 9. That is a child. There's no biological way that could not be a child. Therefore, it allows child marriage. And then, of course, Surah 65:4, which does allow girls.
Yeah.
Beautiful. Do you guys want to jump in or should I continue?
You're taking your head. What did you want to say?
Well, I mean, I have many things to say. First of all, Islam does not in any way, shape, fashion, or form support any idea of pedophilia or underage marriage. Islam does not support anything like that at all. The Quran gives an age of marriage. It is very clear. It gives something called an age of marriage. And that age of marriage is when you reach puberty, in essence.
Puberty. So puberty is when you mature. Has a 9-year-old ever completed puberty?
Sure.
Really? According to what?
Sure. I mean, this is life. These are things that happen.
Okay, when we look at, for example, the classical text they quoted, the Bukhari himself has a narration where Aisha radiallahu anha refers to herself as a woman, right? So if you want to like internally critique our sources regarding what it says, regarding when the marriage happens,
You say internal or external?
internal.
I'm not. This is external critique. This is definitely external
How do
critique.
you conclude that the marriage was at 6 and 9?
Because that's what your sources teach.
Beautiful.
But then you're also saying she's not a child, and I'm saying that's just incompatible with reality.
Okay,
There
I
is
see.
no such thing as a 9-year-old woman. The hips on a girl do not develop till the ages of 15 or 17. Puberty is not complete. There is no possible world where it's biologically the case a 9-year-old could be.
By the way, they actually debunked him right there, right? Because he's saying that they're actually bringing up an eyewitness who said that at that time, people would often get married and often have children, right? This clearly debunks his point because this clearly shows there was no harmful activity going on here. But they said that, this is an external critique, which means that he's not accepting our sources. But you just made an argument based on our sources.
Yeah.
What are you talking about?
Yeah,
So
he
you're
just
saying that-
made an argument. Basically, he drew on the information from the hadith, and now he's saying
Yeah.
that
Now,
Yeah, it's
hadith,
external
hadith is not reliable.
not
one is-
reliable.
So
Can
when
make out-
when it supports your cause, all of a sudden hadith is fine. Or whenever
agrees
it
with
doesn't,
his if he agrees with his position, he uses the hadith. He doesn't agree with his position. He says, "Oh no, you cannot use the hadith. It's not reliable." I mean, that's just
Contradicting
hypocrisy, isn't it? It's hypocrisy, isn't it? I mean, you can't just simply pick and choose from the hadith. Okay.
yeah. By the way, child marriage is completely allowed in the Bible. Let me show this.
Yeah.
I already mentioned this. I brought up this verse, but let me share.
Actually, I have this mentioned in my paper. I can actually.
sure,
cite-
sure, bro. Go ahead.
Yeah. So, do you want me to do that, or do you want to go ahead with yours first?
Let me show my first. This
Yeah,
is
go
a
ahead. Yours
decent
first.
one.
Yeah, go ahead.
That's in Numbers 31:18. This is where Moses tells his soldiers to save themselves every girl who has never slept with a man, right? So,
Yeah.
so let's look at what the word that is being used here. We're going to look at the literal translation. There we go. For yourself, every girl, hattab, girl, who has never had relations with a man. So the word for hattab, girl, is basically this. It's a synonym or it's like a word that is often associated with children or is used for children, right? And basically means little ones and all their little ones and their wives, right? And
Yeah.
all their wealth and all their little ones. Little ones means children, right? And this is
Right.
exactly how the rabbis have interpreted this, this kind of like these Hebrew texts.
Let me share my screen too. Okay.
Sure, bro. Let me share the text from the rabbis.
Okay.
There we go. There we go.
Yeah.
Share the screen. Yeah, as you can see. Yeah, here we go.
Mhm.
Rabbi Eliezer ben Jacob says, and there was. So basically, this is a commentary on this passage. Rabbi Jehuda said, the daughter of a male proselyte is like the daughter of a male one. They all interpreted the same verse, only virgins. So it's referred to virgins. From the seed of the house of Israel. So unless the
I think I have that verse in my paper, but I'm not sure. Let me see. Yeah.
Oh, here it comes. A girl which became a proselyte, being less than 3 years and 1 day of age,
Oh,
is
yeah,
acceptable
yeah.
for the priesthood, since it was
Yeah.
said, all the female children unfit for sleeping with a male. So they're literally interpreting this verse as to mean children, because it's 3 years
Yeah.
of age.
Yeah.
You should let live for yourself.
Yeah.
Later on, they basically repeats the same
Yeah.
point.
Yeah.
A girl which became prostitute in less than 3-year-old. So they even give the age. It is acceptable for the prostitute, priesthood, since it was said. And they're talking about marriage, by the way.
Yeah.
All the female children in front of. And then in Kishuddin 78:19. Okay, hold on. Let me see. There's another one that I'm looking for specifically. You see that? There we go. It's in Yovamot 16b6. The Gemara cites, by the way, all of this is basically commentary of kind of like the rabbis, right? So let's read what it says. The Gemara cites another ruling of Rabbi Shimon ben Yohai, also related to the discussion of defining who is considered a virgin.
Yeah.
It is taught that Baratia that Rabbi Simon ben Yohai says a female convert who converted when she was less than 3 years and 1 day old is permitted to marry in history, as it stated, but all the women and children that are not known a man by lying with him, developed themselves. Number 13. This verse indicated these women were fit for all the warriors. And since Pinahas, the priest, was with them, it's clear that young
Yeah.
converts were committed to peace. So it clearly says that they can marry children. They're thinking this based on the verse, right? But somehow, Mr. Expiring Philosophy knows better than these rabbis. The rabbis who's been interpreting this text for thousands of years.
Yeah.
You wanted to share something, bro?
Do you want me to share the paper? Okay. I have this. I actually have a similar argument. Okay, go ahead and share my paper. Yeah.
Sure. Stage.
Yeah. So can you read? Can you see the text? Oops.
Make it a
Okay.
big, yeah, I can see it.
Okay. Let me see if I can. So yeah, this is actually the dilemma that I have presented, but below it's actually about the particular verses that the Jews have. Okay. This is from the scripture, from the Bible. Okay, so this is the marriage of Isaac to Rebecca. Okay, but let's skip that for now because we want to talk about the legal position, right? The Talmudic legal position.
Yeah.
So okay, so yeah, so I have this cited. So this is from Mishnah, Nida 5:4. So yeah, so I think you just repeated that. It's basically a
Yeah.
repetition of what you said earlier. So a girl 3 days and 1 day old is betrothed by intercourse. So basically, you need to once you sleep with the girl when she's 3 years old and 1 day, the marriage
Yeah.
is valid. Okay. So yeah, this is the basic law. Okay, and it's also mentioned in Nida 44b to 45a. It's also mentioned in Rebamoth 57b and 60b. So it's not something in isolation. This is pretty much throughout the Talmud, especially in Talmudic law, in Jewish law, in the halakha, as they call it. And even until today, Jews consider someone once they reach 3 years and 1 day, automatically they are considered to be mature adults. Yeah, this is how. So this where do they get that date? And also you need to understand, why do they say 3 days, 3 years and 1 day old? Where do they get that number from? That number came from the marriage of Isaac and Rebecca, because they don't just simply pluck a number out of the sky and say, oh, you can marry 3 years old, right? You see, so they have to derive this law from somewhere. So that particular law comes from that particular marriage. So this is the calculation. Okay, so maybe we can go through this in brief. Okay, so the chronological calculation is Sarah, okay, who's the mother of Isaac. She gave birth at age 90, and this is from Genesis 17, chapter 17, verse 17. Okay, so this is the source. And then Sarah died at the age of 127 years old. Okay, which is from Genesis 23, verse 1. Okay, chapter 23, verse 1. Okay, so from that calculation, because 127 minus 90, okay, therefore Isaac has to be around 37 years old at his mother's death. Okay, this is where the numbers come from. And then the binding of Isaac, okay, they believe that Isaac was the child of sacrifice. So this is recorded in Genesis 22. And the whole story of that mentions the birth of Rebecca within Genesis 22 verses 20 to 23. Okay, right before Sarah's death was announced in chapter 23. So when you calculate that, okay, from the time of the birth of Rebecca, okay, during the binding of Isaac up to the point of Sarah's death, that would total 3 years old. 3 years. That would total 3 years. Okay.
Yeah.
So that means Rebecca was 3 years old at the time of marriage, because she was married soon after Isaac's mother's death, which is Sarah. Okay. Soon after Sarah's death, Isaac was betrothed and was married to Rebecca. So
Yeah.
this is the calculation that the rabbis use. And you will find Christians saying, oh, no, the rabbis just made it up. The rabbis are just picking up a number. They are not knowledgeable in this. They don't understand how maths work, I think. But this is right from the Bible itself. I mean, the calculations are from the Bible itself. It's either the calculations in the Bible is wrong, okay,
Yeah.
which means the Bible is false, or this is actually accurate, which means that Christians do have to accept marriages at 3 years old. Yeah, there's no two ways
Oh,
about it.
boy.
It's either because if they deny this, it means that the Bible
Yeah.
account is false, and therefore the whole
Right.
Bible is false as well. You see, because this is derived
Yeah.
directly from the Bible. The calculations are all from the Bible itself.
Yeah.
Okay, it's not like the Bible said one day woke up and say, oh, we have to get married. We have to marry our children. They don't just simply pick a number randomly. Okay, they have to derive
Yeah.
it from somewhere. Okay. Okay, it's pretty much similar to how we derive our methodology, right? How do we derive our faith? We use hadiths, right? We read the stories in the hadith, and we accept the hadiths, which are of course the sahih ones, and from there we derive legalistic laws, right? So it's the same with the rabbis. The rabbis do the same thing, but it's just that they do it with the Bible. Okay, so
Yeah.
this is where the law
I mean,
came
like-
from. It's not the Bible. Yeah.
I mean, the thing is that if this is the argument they make as well, which is that if this is
Yeah.
the case, that that the Bible is not saying what they're claiming, which is that it's not allowing child marriage, then where are the rabbis getting this law from, right?
Yeah, exactly.
So it was actually, if it was actually the case that there is no child marriage in the Old Testament, it would logically follow that the rabbis wouldn't be able to interpret such an interpretation. Right?
Exactly.
That we see the opposite of it. We do see
Yeah.
them interpreting this to mean child marriage, right?
Yes.
So it logically follows that, therefore, obviously, it's found in the Bible, right?
Yes.
So it's
That's
like-
right.
It's a very stupid point. I don't think there's any point in Christians denying this.
There are actually a lot of Christians who deny it. They totally deny it. They often will say that Rebecca was 20 years old when she was married to Isaac. I don't know where they get the number from. It's definitely not based on the Bible, because the Bible, you don't have that kind of. You definitely, I mean, you could see the calculations, right? I mean, it's clearly that it's not. They just randomly pick a number and they say, oh, she must have been an adult when she was married off to Isaac, even though there's no basis
An
for it.
adult at the age of 3.
Yeah, exactly. That's what the rabbis are deriving their number from. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah. By the way, the Islamic law is not even based on age; it's just based on puberty, right? Which is
Yeah, it's
completely
based on
wrong.
puberty. It's based on the local laws. It's based on societal situation at the time. So in Islam, we are more flexible in this. So if let's say if a woman reaches puberty at within that society, let's say in that particular society, theoretically speaking, if a woman reaches puberty, she had her menses when she is, for example, 7 or 8 years old, and
Yeah.
it is a norm for that particular society to marry off their women when they reach 7 or 8 years old. Once they reach puberty, of course, then it's totally fine according to Islam to allow that. Also, let's say in another society, a woman reaches her puberty when she is 30. Let's say, assuming, then yes, the woman, the women in that particular society can only be married off when they reach 30 years old, because within that societal context, they all get puberty or they achieve their menses when they reach 30 years old. Okay.
Yeah.
So this, yeah. So
And
this
also
pretty much it.
another
Yeah.
thing is that, like, Sharia law is not a monolith, right?
Yeah.
For
Yeah.
example,
Exactly.
I do
Exactly.
believe in Saudi Arabia they have like an age of marriage, which is 15. And by the way, this
Yeah,
is not
yeah.
based on some liberal interpretation. There are scholars in the past.
Yeah,
For example,
yeah.
if you read Imam Qurtubi's tafsir,
Mm,
I actually mentioned this before when we were discussing
Yeah.
Daniel's debate with like Michael, and
Yeah.
I brought this up, which is that there are scholars who interpreted some of the verse where Allah Subhanahu wa Ta'ala talks about the orphans, the marriage age of orphans, and some of
Right.
the scholars interpreted that to mean from the age of 15 to 19. Now,
Right,
obviously,
right.
the best explanation is that it's obviously at the age of kind of like puberty, but if that's not clear, then it's at the age of 15 to 19. So this is a valid
Yes,
position.
that's right.
Valid
That's
is
right.
not
That's right.
position.
That's right.
So there's
That's right.
nothing wrong with a country having an age of marriage. So it's not exactly
Yeah.
it's not something
Yeah.
that
I mean,
contradicts Islamic
in
law.
Malaysia itself, I think our laws say that you can only get married when you reach 18. Yeah, you can get married, and if you want to get married, if you want your women to get married when she's younger, let's say a 16-year-old or 15-year-old, you need to actually apply to the courts, and the
Yes.
Qadi will of course call up the couple and determine as to whether she's ready, whether they are ready or fit for marriage. So there's a process. You can't just simply marry a young woman at random, okay? Even though she may
Yeah.
have reached puberty, but you still
Yeah.
need to go through a Qadi, through a process. So there's nothing wrong with that. Islam totally
Yeah.
is fine with that. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, like, there's no contradiction between Sharia law and like age of marriage.
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
the way
exactly.
that he's like portrayed as quote unquote child
Yeah.
marriage.
No,
There's no
IP was like, oh, because the woman has puberty, you must marry her at puberty. Because she's 9 years old, you have to marry her. Blah, 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 blah. Oh my God!
Yeah.
This guy doesn't use any common sense. Okay, I mean, you don't have to.
I mean,
even if
a lot of
I
it,
mean,
a lot of it
I mean,
depends on like the context of the country, the Islamic
yeah,
environment.
exactly. I
Islamic
mean,
law,
even if let's say the woman reaches
context.
21 years old, if let's say the law says you can't marry off your women at 21 years old, yeah, Islam doesn't have a problem with that. Yeah, let's say assuming just for the sake of argument, right? If let's say a woman reaches 21
Yeah,
years
and
old,
also like I don't think
yeah,
anyone in Saudi Arabia is like denying the hadith of Aisha radhiyallahu
yeah,
anha. So
yeah,
like
exactly,
so,
yeah,
but they still have an age
yeah,
of marriage because like
yeah.
it's better to have like some kind of
Yeah, there's a standard. I
friendship.
mean, there's a certain there's a standard, and it varies according to society.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
believe that in India, I think they still allow young marriages. I think I'm not sure. Maybe they changed the
yeah.
law, but
Yeah,
earlier
I
on,
think if it does become a necessity, they can always go to the
yeah,
judge and like appeal and whatnot.
yeah,
So
right,
like
right, yeah,
it's not a
yeah,
so
yeah,
the Islamic law is not a monolith, and the way he's arguing doesn't work. Actually, it's not against
yeah.
Islamic law.
It's like as though you have to follow this particular because Aisha got married at 9, therefore you everyone must be married at 9. It doesn't follow,
It
man.
doesn't follow.
It doesn't follow. It
Anyway,
really doesn't
so
follow.
let's continue.
Oh my God! I mean, these people are really bankrupt of ideas, right? Okay, anyway, let's continue. Otherwise, you're gonna drag on this live, man. It's already 1
Yeah,
hour and 21 minutes.
yeah. We haven't actually gotten to the best part of the debate. It gets really
Oh
funny
my
by the end.
God.
So
Okay, right.
I don't think we
Let's
can
continue.
cover the whole thing. So let's do like a
Yeah,
two-parter, inshallah.
yeah. We probably need
There
to
is a
do a
lot of funny
second part.
stuff that happens later on.
All right, all
All right,
right.
let's continue.
Okay.
Anything but child. Okay. Would you say that in order to be able to conceive and bear children, etc., you would have to have gone through some of the stages of puberty? You would have to go through all the stages of puberty. So, for
Okay,
example,
good,
there was a
wait.
cross-sectional study done.
That's not true.
Go through all stages of puberty. Oh my God, this guy.
I mean,
That actually showed that girls who were 15 and under had 4 times higher the rate of death in childbirth.
Okay, so you said that it's never happened where this was the case, right?
Where is he
There's
getting?
no case where a 9-year-old could have completed puberty. No.
Okay, but hold on 1 second. You're saying for somebody to get pregnant, they would have had to have gone through all the stages, correct?
No, they have to go through at least standard stage 4 because at the end of standard stage 4
Would
is
you
when they have
consider
puberty.
that person to be pubescent or prepubescent?
Did they have their first period?
I'm saying they got pregnant, so they would have already.
If they
had
got
a period.
pregnant, then they're post-pubescent. Yes.
Good. So there's an example. I don't know if you know who it is. Her name is Lena Medina. She was 5 years old when she first got pregnant. Obviously, we don't agree with the means that she got pregnant by, but it's to show that it is the case that this is something that could still happen.
Okay, I
Right?
got a question
This is something
about
that happened more
I got a
moderately.
question. So you said if they have their period, they're a woman, they're an adult, they're post-pubescent. Was that 5-year-old an adult?
Yeah, so insofar as what I asked you, I was asking you in regards to what your criteria is that you're establishing. Right now, I don't think there is a criteria that you're actually giving in regards to what is considered to be a child, what is considered to be
Okay,
an adult.
I'll give it. You have to complete puberty. That is not completed till 15 to 17. That's why we as a society, we assign adulthood to.
by the way, did you notice how he doesn't define what he means by puberty? This actually becomes
Yeah,
problematic
yeah,
because what
yeah.
she's referring to is basically the menstrual
Yeah,
cycle.
menstruation. Yeah, but to him, it's not enough. He needs to go through. They have to go through a lot more in order to achieve puberty. But he never mentioned. Does
Well,
he
I
mention
actually
it? No, I
asked.
don't think he
I
did.
actually asked Google's AI. And this is what it came
Yeah,
up with.
yeah,
So basically, conception cannot occur before puberty, but a girl can become pregnant before her first menstrual period. So it is possible. It's not something that's impossible or anything like that.
yeah.
And you
It is
can
possible.
have like pregnancies at a very young age too. And this happens because ovulation.
Actually, there was a case in Peru. I think I mentioned this in my paper. There was a case in Peru where a 5-year-old girl was found to be pregnant. Yeah,
Okay.
she was raped by someone,
Like-
but because she was so young, so she didn't know who it was. Yeah,
By the
but
way,
she was.
I'm
Yeah.
not saying this is what happened to the girl was like right or anything. I don't, she made
Yeah.
also made that clear.
Yeah,
The point is,
obviously,
what he's
obviously, it's
saying is
rape.
not exactly
Yeah.
true.
Yeah, yeah,
By the way,
yeah.
Brother Andolan says, interestingly, in the book of Deuteronomy, on which the book of Numbers is based, explains in chapter 21, 10 to 14, and chapter 20 to 14 that it is about forceful intercourse with the woman. Interesting.
I think I mentioned this in my paper as well.
Interesting. Maybe
Yeah,
you can show it later on, inshallah.
yeah, later, yeah.
All right, let's continue. So basically, Itachi is basically referring to menstrual cycle.
Yeah,
Age of 8.
that's right.
Anything under 18 is a child. That 5-year-old is not a woman. She's a child. She should not be married off. Okay.
So how do you respond to the argument from
By the
natural
way, she didn't say she was not a child. So that's what she's
Hmm.
so that's basically the IP strategy. Let me strawman this person and then bring up a bunch of red herrings and data that is nothing to do with the debate.
Yeah, yeah,
we
yeah.
see that, for example, Paul appeals to within Romans and Corinthians that we can look at nature to be able to come to reason. And we see that there was no critique of this specific marriage of Muhammad والسلام, prior to the 19th century, which means that nobody prior to the 19th century made that critique, although he was criticized for other things, right? Other critics have made other points regarding it, but nobody made it regarding the marriage between him and Aisha radiallahu anha. So if you conclude that we both agree on the standard of natural law and coming to reason through nature and what God has instilled in us through who we are as human beings, and we agree that we would expect that if it was the case that it was wholly immoral during that time, how come we don't have that critique prior to the 19th
I got
century?
where you're coming from. Okay, so here's the first problem. Bro, practically, a lot of the hadith were not known in the Western world. So that's the first problem. The second
Did you hear what they said? So apparently, the Christian scholars were dumb and stupid. They couldn't read Arabic. They live in the Middle East.
Oh my God, this guy.
They didn't have access to Islamic scriptures. They lived in Middle East, dude. They were experts in multiple languages. Like, how do you think
Yeah.
they kind of like translated the Greek text?
Exactly that.
Hebrew
Yeah,
text.
yeah, exactly that. Yes, yes.
Yeah, Fatim, Andalan. Hi. Assalamualaikum,
Yeah.
bro, brother.
Salam alaikum, my brother.
By the way,
yeah,
guys, if you
Abu
like
here.
the stream, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to the channel. And also subscribe to brother MENJ's channel as well.
Please
So
do.
now I get inshallah.
Yeah, yeah.
Inshallah. Yeah, exactly. Has this guy heard of Arab Christians? like Christian scholars know Arabic. Like, what are you talking about? They can get access. Like, they can literally ask a Muslim. They can have a conversation. Okay, tell me about this.
I mean the Middle Eastern churches in the Middle East, they actually recite their liturgy in Arabic, man. What the hell is this guy talking about?
Yeah.
Doesn't make any sense. Oh my God,
Yeah,
this
welcome
guy.
to the stream, brother. Alpha.
Oh, wa alaikum salam wa rahmatullah, brother. Yeah.
Let's continue.
thing is Muhammad is supposed to be the pattern of conduct for Muslims, for people in all times. And he's supposed to be getting divine revelation from God. Yet he's girl, that's evil. That's setting a bad example for humanity. And this doesn't matter. All this shows at the end of the day is Muhammad was a product of.
By the way, please note, he's using all these kind of nasty languages. Like, if I was there, honestly, I would have just punched this guy. Like,
You don't know how many times
you knock him out.
You don't know how many times I had to, like, oh my God, I need to like stop myself from punching my monitor. You know, I mean, if I were to like follow my instincts, I think
Because-
my monitor would
Yeah,
have been really
because
damaged.
you need to understand. First of all, he's saying something that's allowed in his religion, right?
Yeah,
So
yeah.
Prophet, at that time period that he lived in, they didn't do something wrong by the standards of the Bible.
Right.
And yet he's insulting him.
Yeah, actually, I can show
Something that has nothing to do with the Bible.
I can actually show something of that nature from my paper. So maybe I can you can share my paper, and there's something I want to post to this polemicist. Yeah. Can you do that?
Brother Tommy asked, product of what
Yeah.
exactly? I'm not
Yeah.
sure what you're referring to.
Oh.
Product of.
Product of what?
something
Sorry.
good. Can you make it clear, inshallah?
Yeah. Maybe you clarify that question. Yeah.
You want me to
So, yeah.
share that?
Yeah. Can you reshare the paper? And there's a list
Yeah,
of questions that I want. Yeah. Can you read it? I mean, can you see it? Sorry.
Oh, he says that he's referring to IT.
Yeah. Wait, let me pull that up again.
Refer to what IP said. Oh, okay. Can you remind me what he said exactly?
Sorry, where? Oh my God, where did I put it? My dear. Okay, this is about the first century. Okay, okay. Let me pull up again. Okay, so this is the list of questions that I want to pose to people like IP. Okay, so okay, so the challenge is basically first of all, he needs to show us a biblical verse that establishes a minimum age below which marriage constitutes moral deviance in the eyes of God. So basically, is there
Yeah.
a particular age of consent that is mentioned in the Bible? That's point number one. Okay. So point number two, he needs to show a biblical verse which openly rebukes any of the marriages or distributions or legal arrangements catalogued which above, which is in my paper, as morally deficient on grounds of the bride's age. So I actually gave a list of biblical incidences where there were young marriages. There was even a rape of a young, okay, in the Bible. Okay, that's point number two. Now point number
Yeah,
two.
I
Point
know
number
what you're going to.
so point number three. Okay, a biblical verse that establishes that God Almighty had any point declared pubertal marriage to be intrinsically immoral. He needs to show a biblical verse where God says, according to the Bible, that you cannot marry girls at puberty because it's wrong.
By the way, let
Yeah,
me
it's
add to
immoral.
your argument.
Yeah.
Let me add to
Yeah.
your argument. If we go by modal logic, like
Yeah.
what IP has to show is that
Yeah.
the Bible forbids this kind of marriage in all possible worlds.
Right.
Is that
right.
true? Does the Bible forbid it in all possible world? The answer is
No,
You don't show any
no.
contradiction to that.
Definitely not.
Right.
Definitely
So,
not.
like,
yeah.
Therefore, it's possible in
Yeah.
our world that Bible doesn't forbid it.
Yeah. Definitely. Definitely. Yeah. So
It's
and then the
necessary
last
to see
point.
that the
Yeah.
Bible doesn't forbid it.
Yeah. Yeah. So and then the last point I mentioned, any patristic, consular, or magisterial Christian teaching, this is from the Catholic Church, prior to the 19th century, that condemns pubertal marriage as intrinsically immoral beyond the mere regulation of its conditions and procedures. He needs to show that prior to the 19th century, there were Christians who indeed say that marriages at puberty was immoral. Okay, if you can show that, that would be interesting. Okay, yeah.
Yeah, Brother Anton says it's hard to communicate through chat. It can get confusing, and oftentimes when I say something to someone in the chat, you guys think it's dedicated to you, and the vice versa. Yeah, no worries, bro. You guys can ask questions. Just give us a reference.
Just type the reference or just direct
Just give us a
the
reference
question
and
to us.
inshallah,
Just say hello.
we'll pick
Just
it up,
say
inshallah.
Islamic calling or TMA.
Yeah.
What any your question and
Yeah,
then
basically
just
write our
elaborate
names,
it. Yeah.
and or if you're talking about like the subjects in the video, then write their
Yeah.
names and
Write their names. Yeah,
Same,
yeah,
same.
just clarify what you are referring to. Yeah, because we're going to go through most of the video. Yeah. In fact, in this particular paper, I have many examples of young marriages throughout the centuries. Okay, but we can go through that later. Okay, so
we
So
can go later, inshallah.
yeah. Okay,
So let's get back to the.
let's go back to the video again. Yeah.
All right.
Oops, what happened to my?
Backwards culture of his time. We now have the scientific evidence to know that is wrong, and it should never have been a
So
prescription.
please note, he's committing the red herring fallacy. He's just doing the red herring. The question that the
Right.
brother asked is that, okay, so can you show us an example of anyone condemning that behavior at the time of the Prophet? Because based on
Yes.
natural law, you would follow that some people out there would be condemning it. But
Yes,
no one is
exactly.
condemning it. So it wasn't wrong based on natural law.
You don't even
What-
have that in the Bible. You don't see that also
Yeah.
being mentioned in the Bible. Was there any one during the time of the biblical period condemning young marriages? You don't see this in the Bible as well. So I don't know
Yes,
what the hell you guys.
so his argument is still valid, which is
Yeah,
that if it
yeah.
is the case, it was wrong based on natural law,
Yeah.
then it follows that someone would condemn it, but it doesn't. Like no one condemned. So it's possible that maybe at that time, natural law was that it wasn't wrong. So he doesn't respond to that. He just shouts and says that, oh, but like he's supposed to be the most moral person, and like it's a revelation to get married.
Oh, my God, these guys.
Get married based on something that's you haven't established to be wrong. So what's
Exactly
your point?
that. Yeah. Exactly that. Yeah.
Brad, by some sort of apparently omniscient deity.
Right, so what your response is that actually the reason why we don't see that critique is because there is no access to the hadith at that point. First of all, that's not even true.
I didn't say that. I said that practically. It says a pragmatic
Right,
prospect.
like on a mass scale, right?
Yeah, on a mass scale.
However, we know that there is a lot of
Yeah, he's calling his own scholars stupid. His own ancient Christian scholars stupid. That's what he's saying.
critiques that were raised against Muhammad alayhi salam. And amongst those critiques, none of them were regarding the marriage. So the argument was to follow. Why? Because we do have the critiques, meaning that people have access to the Quran, people have access to the Sunnah, such as John of Chrysostom, for example, who critiques Muhammad alayhi salam in his writings. Yeah, we don't find a critique about child
By the
marriage.
way,
Right? So we
speaking
still
of
see
which,
that
even in the Quran, it's mentioned that the Prophet ﷺ had debates with Christians. Right? These are Christians
Right.
that followed Christianity,
Right.
that followed the Trinity. Right? The
Yes.
Prophet
Yes.
ﷺ literally had debates with them. So how could they not know this? Like, it makes no sense.
Yeah.
you saying that it wasn't widely accessible is irrelevant. Why? Because you have a big sample data where there's a lot of critiques regarding it, and not a single one pattern like the century.
So let's go on that.
is,
So we're
about,
conflating two things: the natural with
Like
what.
we even have like Christians who became Muslim, right? We even have companions who are Christians, I think, if I'm not
Yeah.
mistaken.
Yeah. They were. Yeah.
So like,
Yeah.
what he's saying is complete nonsense.
As Immanuel Kant said, out of the crooked timber of humanity, nothing straight has ever grown. I agree. There were plenty of humans in the past that believe bad, corrupt, wrong things. They're not the standard. Like the Quran says,
Who says
Muhammad.
they
Hold
are?
on, let me finish. I'll let you finish. They're not the standard. They're not getting their information from omnipotent God. We now know today. This is wrong.
We
this
now
is
know
bad.
today.
The temporal lobes are not even
We now know
developed.
today. We now know today. So God didn't know that before. Only now today we know this. So that means God or the Bible somehow forgot to mention it in the Bible because there's no such law prior to this.
So apparently, the God of the Bible didn't know. He didn't have this foresight that Michael Jones says.
Yeah. So God didn't do his. According to Michael Jones, God did not do his research.
He didn't do his homework.
Yeah,
he needs to
that's
learn
right.
from people like Michael Jones.
He
Michael
needs to
Jones
know. He has to learn. He needs to learn biology from Michael Jones because only girls can only get puberty when they are 21
needs to
years
learn from Michael Jones.
Yes,
Yeah.
Jesus needs to learn. Jesus needs to learn the understandings of the biological makeup of a woman. From Michael
Jesus
Jones.
needs to learn morality from Michael Jones.
Yes, that's right. That's right. Ma'uzubillah, my God.
By the way, why is he turning red? Did you notice this? He's just turning red.
His face, right? I noticed that.
What I love it.
Oh my God.
By the way, I do think there are some problems with some of the responses that the brother is making, but overall, I think he did a good job. But I will mention
we can comment on that. Okay, let's see
once
how
we go through this section. So let's continue.
Right. Yeah, sure.
9-year-old to properly communicate or express or understand activity. So if you're messing her up mentally. Not only can you early physical problems.
Because notice what he's doing. He's just showing emotional rhetoric, right? Because he knows that his audience is not gonna look up any of this. They just want to hear
all these arguments. All these arguments that he uses are all from secularists or from
So
atheists,
basically, he's appealing to emotions of Christians. Right?
He's not basing it on the Bible. I mean, he claims to be a Christian, right? He should be basing his arguments on the Bible. But he's not doing that. He's just totally, but the research here says this, or the research here says that. What about the Bible, man? Why didn't you?
By the way, you know what's funny is that he says in the so his basic arguments is that Prophet is supposed to be perfect for all time, but he had this marriage so that somehow he's arguing that we're saying it's wrong. We're not saying it's wrong, right? That's our position. So basically, he's saying that. Basically, we're saying that the laws can be interpreted based on different context, right?
Right.
That doesn't mean we're saying what happened in the past was wrong. So this is just a straw man. And then he's saying that
it is most definitely
moral person, but he did X, right? But he never established that X is wrong. Like
exactly
you have to establish that X is wrong in the first place to show that what the Prophet did is wrong. Right? He didn't do that.
Also mentally bad. It's socially bad. This is not good for anyone. We know that now. So Islam is allowing this.
By the way,
we know that. We know that now. We didn't know that before. We know that now.
It's way worse than any of the three criteria he brought up. It's worse than child marriage. It's worse than cousin marriage, and it's worse than polygamy. If you combine all three, it still wouldn't be as bad as genocide, and that's allowed in Christianity. IP is playing so hard an emotional game to appease the liberals whenever he talks about. He almost speaks like a cringe left-wing liberal.
We didn't know that letting Rebecca being married off when she was 3 years old was wrong. Now we do not know that Rebecca being married off at 3 years old is wrong.
By the way, he later on admits that in the debate. Actually, we're going to get to that. Let's
You guys are
Okay,
kind of defending it,
alright.
which I'm shocked. It's child marriage. We should just reject everyone out here. Should be outright, yes,
my
child marriage is wrong. It should be abolished around the
We
world.
literally agree. We literally, before we began, we clarified that Islam, we don't believe there's something known as child marriage. Right? We already clarified that.
So
Now,
when I said child under the age of 18, do you agree a child is under the age of 18?
right.
That's subjective.
Okay,
Right, so-
then you don't think child marriage should be
Real
allowed?
quick, but hold on, you switched it because a second ago you said that someone who's an adult is someone that completed puberty and that can have between 15 and 17. Now what does it saying under 18? So I'm very confused on which time
Sure,
you want.
let me clarify.
So, let me finish. Now, regarding Islam, our stance is very simple. Islam is going to be dependent upon the circumstances of the individuals. Meaning, if it was the case that at a specific point in time, it wouldn't entail physical or mental harm, and someone would have been post-pubescent and fully mature, then the marriage can be done, right? However, if it is going to entail, such as today, and this is the people according to Peter D. Glock, when we mentioned this, if it is going to entail harm today, meaning that people can attain pubescence, but they don't attain monarchy, right? It is going to be the case that today would entail harm, therefore would not be allowed Islamically. It's very simple. Now, regarding the point regarding how, we know that there's humans around the world that have justified bad things happening in society, but the thing is, we're talking about a universal aspect, meaning that all humans, everyone who's critiquing Muhammad, none of them.
Yeah, basically his argument is that all the people back in the day were stupid, therefore,
Yeah. Nobody knew any better, even though, even though, Rebecca was married for 3 years old and all the virgins in the Midianites, the virgins were all gathered up, the little girls were all gathered up. Yeah, so God was wrong.
By the way,
God didn't know any better.
That's true. That also applies to Jesus.
Yeah. Only Michael Jones is right. Everyone else is wrong, including Jesus, because Jesus, even though Jesus is God, he didn't know this. Yeah, that's basically what is happening here, right? He's just saying that, oh, listen, trust me, bro.
Yeah. So, okay, so yeah, let's continue.
Recognize as something that's inherently abhorrent.
Well, hold on.
Let me-
Now, you can go for a while. Let me address all these
I'm
points.
about to-
Finish up. You
Right.
got 20
Now,
seconds.
Paul is the one that appeals to natural law. Obviously, we know that when it comes to natural law, when it comes to knowing these things that are known by disposition, they are known prior to revelation.
Your own sayings appeals to this. That's
Yes.
the point.
Exactly.
Like, this is based on your own morality. Your own morality says there's nothing wrong with this, and you're arguing that there is. So, like,
Exactly that.
you're contradicting yourself. So, which one is it?
I don't think this
Right?
guy.
So if it is the case that they know prior to revelation, we expect at least someone to make that critique.
Okay, now I'm gonna respond. You can talk for a while. I'm gonna go on for a couple minutes here. So
Yeah.
first of all, not everyone around the world had access to the Hadith. Okay, there's a problem here. It's not like we had a big global community and all.
You had Christians debating with the Prophet, right? Arab Christians. They exist, my guy.
It's as if the hadiths didn't exist during the time of the Prophet and after the time of the Prophet. My God.
Vulgate, like this kind of languages, they translated it, right? They're not like I think IP thinks that all people in the past were stupid, like they just didn't know how to read. Or write.
I mean, this guy doesn't know that. Doesn't seem to realize that hadith. I mean, before Bukhari, Muslim, and all the other imams, before they recorded the hadiths were memorized. They were circulating through memorization. This guy thinks that everything needs to be recorded on paper or on parchment. If it's not recorded on parchment, therefore it's not true. I mean, people preserve knowledge through memorization, man. Okay, back then, okay, before
I mean, the
before
argument
writing,
is actually quite simple, right?
yeah,
What
yeah,
my brother
yeah.
is saying is that if
Yeah.
it is the case that this kind of marriage was immoral, then
Yeah.
it would show up prior to 19th century.
Yeah.
Uh, Sorry, if this kind of marriage was immoral, it would show up. Then it would show up prior to 19th century.
Yeah, prior to there would be a group of Christians
Prior to
before
19th
19th
century.
yeah,
If it
before
was
19th century. Yeah, exactly.
But it doesn't show up before 19th century. Therefore,
Nope. In fact, I can show a list later. I can show a list of kings and queens in Europe during medieval Europe who actually were married off when they were very young. Yeah, there's a whole list of them. Yeah.
that's good.
Voted, I think Muhammad was bad. This happened in 1857. No, it did not happen. So you're appealing to something that just did not happen. So let's go back to me trying to tell you what a child is here. Let's start with this because we need to get over this, okay? So
agree with
no puberty is complete between the ages of 15 or 17. We can't, as a society, constantly be going around checking hip development.
Okay, so I think I let him rant. Okay, so let me address some of these things.
Okay.
So I think while I think the brothers, they did bring up a good point, which is that they mentioned that they basically mentioned natural law. But personally, I don't think that was the best approach. Like, I think that you can make a better argument to this. Let me share my screen. So
Yeah.
share my screen, and let me show what I mean.
Yeah.
There we go. I have it here. There we go.
Right.
So it's basically a non sequitur fallacy. What Michael is doing is basically a non sequitur fallacy. So basically, his argument is this, right? This is basic, essential argument. Islamic marriage possibly causes X, therefore Islamic marriage will cause X. So basically, the idea here is that Islamic marriage, including marriage at the time of puberty, will cause harm Therefore, Islamic marriage will cause harm, but it doesn't follow, right? Yes, it may be true that Islamic marriage possibly causes harm, but that doesn't follow to say that therefore Islamic marriage will cause harm, right? Like for example, it is possible that if I go outside, I will get in an accident. But that doesn't mean if I go outside, I will get in an accident, right? It doesn't follow.
Right.
Stupid argument,
It is. It is
right?
a really dumb argument. Yeah.
So it's a non sequitur. It doesn't follow.
Mhm.
And then he says that Islam allows X, right? Which means Islam allows marriage at the age of puberty.
Yeah.
There, Islam will cause X. Again, doesn't follow. Just because Islam allows this kind of marriage doesn't mean that Islam will cause this kind of marriage, right? Like for example, in America, it is allowed for people to drink alcohol. Does it mean that everyone in America will now drink alcohol? No. Like this is
Definitely
stupid.
not. Yeah.
This is a stupid argument.
It
So it
is.
doesn't
Yeah.
follow. Like none of his arguments that he's making follows.
Mhm.
Like and the thing is that I don't think he knows like what arguments he's making, because none of the
Yeah.
arguments he's saying is follows. And this is the argument that I kind of brought up, but didn't have a chance to explain. So
Okay.
genocide is harmful to society in every possible way. Christianity caused genocide in the past and will cause it again in the future in every possible world. Therefore, Christianity is harmful to society in every possible world, which means Christianity is necessarily harmful to society in our world, right? So this is a necessary argument, but all he's saying is based on possibility. Oh, it's possible that Islam caused harm, but it didn't. There's no evidence that Aisha was harmed in any way, shape, or form. There's no evidence that anyone at the time criticized or saw it as immoral, right? So
Yeah.
he has established that this is something immoral in the first place, right? But he's saying
I mean,
that
The thing is, none of the enemies of the Prophet ever brought this up. I mean, if it is true that this is immoral, then why didn't Abu Jahl, Abu Lahab? I mean, so there's so many enemies of the Prophet, right? They could have just said, "Oh, you are a kiddie," whatever. So that would have been the issue that they were brought up, but it wasn't mentioned at all in by the kuffar, by the Quraysh. Yeah, they had no problems with it. Okay. They did raise another issue concerning the marriage of the of Zainab, but they didn't mention or Zainab binti Jahsh, right? I think you know about this polemic, but they didn't mention anything about Aisha. Why didn't they mention about Aisha too? You see? Yeah.
So, Brother Ondolon says it's clear that marriage at puberty is natural. We have a collective cross-cultural agreement from cultures,
Yeah.
and this is okay. These moral standards are things that human imposed upon themselves. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
another thing
Yeah.
is that this is basically presentism, right?
Yeah.
Which is that you're
It is,
assuming the
yeah.
context of morality in the past is the same as context of morality now. I mean,
Yes.
Christians themselves don't obey by this, right? I mean, in Christianity, in the past, Christians did not allow, the Bible to be read by a woman, right? They didn't allow this, or they have laws against gay marriage and all this other stuff.
There are actually laws about a woman not being allowed to read by Paul actually in Corinthians, in First Corinthians. Yeah.
Yeah, but now they make all kind of excuses and allow women to do this kind of research.
Exactly. Yeah.
How's that
Exactly
different? So did God back then not know? Isn't he supposed to be all perfect and all knowing? Right? Like we can make this argument too. Right? So
Yeah.
Development, Tanner stage 5 development, that is impractical. So we just assign adulthood to the age of 18. That's still far better.
So basically the point is that he's claiming that this is morally wrong, but his premise is completely unfounded. Right? Just because he's
No basis at all from the Bible. Do you notice one thing? He never cited any particular Bible verse or any Christian source to justify it. I thought this is supposed to be an Islam versus Christianity debate, not an Islam versus secularist debate. You see?
Also, another thing is that just because Christianity doesn't, quote unquote, allow this kind of marriages, doesn't mean Christians cannot marry their children.
Yeah.
It doesn't follow. It's very much possible.
No, basically, there's nothing mentioned at all in the Bible about that. I mean, it's just not mentioned at all. I mean,
Yeah, I
if they
mean,
want
no,
to
I mean,
practice
I'm
that,
saying,
it's up to
that
them.
the
Yeah.
argument is that it's harmful for society, right?
Yeah.
That's what he's saying.
Yeah.
Saying
Yeah.
that, oh,
Yeah.
this religion, it
Yeah.
allows X, therefore
Mm,
it will cause X, right?
It was
That's the argument
sex.
he's
Yeah.
making.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
it doesn't follow. That's my point. Like,
Yeah.
even if
Okay.
Christianity said no one can marry at the age of under the age of 18, it still
Right.
wouldn't follow that Christians will not marry under the age of 18. You know what I mean?
Yes, I get it.
So it doesn't follow. Like, even if we accept his argument for the sake of argument,
Yeah.
it still
Yeah.
doesn't establish that Christianity is not harmful for society any more than Islam is,
Yeah.
supposedly.
Yeah. True. Yeah. It doesn't prove Christianity's point at all. Even if Christianity doesn't allow child marriages. Okay. Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
that's the debate. The debate is about not about
Yeah.
which religions allows what and whether that's
Yeah.
ethical or not. The debate is
Yes.
about
Yes.
it's harmful for society.
Humble society. Yeah. I think this guy he conflates the two and he just mixes and matches
Yeah.
whatever he feels. He just uses this as an opportunity to attack Islam. That's basically it.
Yeah.
He's not even here to. He's not even in this particular debate to argue the topic. You see?
Yeah. Let's continue.
Then 9. That's the problem right there. Now, if you want to talk to what ancient people did, we can talk about that. So Michael Salo, talking about the ancient Jews in Palestine, said they were marrying girls on average between the ages of mid-teens to early 20s. Amram Troper says late teens to early 20s. Brett Shaw of the Roman Empire, he says late teens to early 20s. So does Keith Hopkins. Then you get to the Middle Ages. Kim Phillips in her book Medieval Maiden says again, yeah, that's the thing. So it was not a normal practice to be marrying a 6-year-old, let alone.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa
Sorry
barakatuh.
about that.
Before you go
Sorry
any
about
further,
that.
Why do I see
This is
beloved
evil.
Philip?
If Muhammad is the pattern of conduct, that's setting a bad example. That's going to lead to all sorts of harm, as it has around the world. UNICEF reports high levels of child marriage in North Africa, in the Middle East. This is horrible. We are torturing these girls. Why would
Yeah, sorry about that. All right, let's continue.
we not want to reject that and say, yes, child marriage should be outlawed around the world. No one should be getting married around the ages of under the ages of 18. And yes, if you're going to bring up random US states that allow it, I condemn them as well.
Hold on, guys. Did you know that over 80% of people that watch these videos are not subscribed? And that's the best way to support this channel. So
particular, by the way. But my point being is that in you saying there's a particular age that we have to go by, etc., well, that age is not something that's going to hold up in regards to society for every single society. As he quoted for you from Peter D. Gluckman's paper, menarche and mental maturity is something which used to be in line at some point, and now what we find is a fluctuation between the two of them, whereby in today's society, we don't find them being the same. They're going to be vastly different.
Okay, so
Yeah.
hold on, let me address her, then we'll go to you. So on this whole issue, so yes, I agree that it doesn't set an age, but Ezekiel 16 says that you cannot, the age for love making does not happen until after she has basically completed puberty. The breasts are fully formed, her hair is fully grown. She has to
Which
complete it.
translation is
Hold on,
that?
let me finish. So that's the issue right there. But again, at the end of the day, we're talking about the effects of society. Christian societies are outlawing this. We don't see 9-year-olds getting married in America. We don't see it happening here. This is bad. But you guys over here are saying, yes, it's perfectly fine.
That's not true. Like, there are countless studies that shows that most Americans have sex before marriage. At
Before
high school.
puberty, and before 18.
At high
Yeah,
school.
Before 18. Yeah. And yeah, exactly. Before 18, basically. Yeah.
Yeah, like they have like multiple, at least 10 or like 8
Yeah.
partners before
Yeah.
marriage. Like, that's not
Yeah,
true.
because idiots like Michael Jones do not allow the opportunity for marriage at puberty. You see, so
Yeah.
you know when hormones come in, they're ready to get married, but they can't because of the law. So what do? They don't follow the law.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's exactly what's happening. Okay, in the US
So-
and even in the UK, in Europe. Yeah.
So basically, again, like, to iterate, like, his argument is that Islam allows quote unquote child marriage, therefore Islam will cause child marriage. Like, that's his argument, but it doesn't follow. Even
Yeah.
if grant for the sake of argument that Islam
Yeah.
allows child marriage, doesn't
Right.
mean Islam will cause child marriage, right? Like, for
Exactly
example, in my country, it is allowed to I don't know, like, drive at the age of 18, right? That doesn't
Right,
mean
right.
that everyone at the age of 18 will drive, right?
Right. That's right.
So, like, it just doesn't follow. And
Mhm.
regarding quote unquote child marriage, like, age of puberty is completely acceptable in all cultures. It has been acceptable. Now, what cultures change, like, cultures don't stay the same. Like, all
Yeah.
medieval cultures have changed. So
Yeah,
because of that,
obviously. Mhm.
that doesn't mean that morality changed. Morality is still the same, but the the way we apply that moral principles may change based on the context,
Yeah,
right?
based on the
For
situation,
example,
on
in
the
the
communal
past,
situation. Yeah.
yeah, for example, in the past, oftentimes we had diseases and we didn't have cure for them. So kings
Yeah.
and at that time would oftentimes take measures to like avoid harm by they would often like isolate people. They won't allow them to go outside and things like this. Now
Yes.
nowadays we may have cures for those diseases, so we don't have to do that anymore, right? We can just take like a
Right.
vaccine,
Yeah.
whatever,
Right.
right?
Right.
So here we can see that the morality didn't change, but it's
Mm-hmm. Hello. Oh, let's wait for brother Islam coming. Oh, where are you?
yeah.
Yeah.
I'm back. Sorry,
Yeah.
sorry about that.
Okay. No, it's okay. Yeah.
Yeah, sorry about that. So yeah, as I was saying, uh, so here we can see that the morality didn't change, but the application of the morality changed, right?
Right.
So
Right.
so that's the point, right? Like morality is never this flexible or this monolithic, where like like and that's the thing. Like he accuses them of like being like moral relativist, but they're not being moral relativist, right? Because their morality isn't changed. It's the application that's changed.
Right.
So this idiot doesn't even understand what he's talking about. He's supposed to be an expert in philosophy. He doesn't understand philosophy.
I don't know whether this guy even knows what philosophy is.
What did he even write on his arm? Like, what is that?
It's Hebrew for I need to take a screenshot of that. Maybe I can translate it. Let me get ChatGPT to translate it. Okay.
Yeah.
Hang on. I can. I mean, with the power of AI now, it's very easy to do that. I used to do that all the time now.
Yeah, Brother Andolan says we don't see 9-year-olds getting married in America. America is not a Christian country, man. You idiot. Yeah, exactly.
Translate into English.
Also,
Okay, let
even
me
if
see.
like in America there is no child marriage or whatever, or marriage under the age of 18, doesn't
Yeah.
mean that Christianity is the one that's stopping it from happening.
Yeah,
Like,
exactly
it
that.
doesn't follow. Like, there could be like hundreds of reasons why it's not happening in America. Did you find it?
I don't think the screenshot that I took is clear enough for ChatGPT to read it because it's giving me different characters.
This
So need to get a better screenshot of his arm, then probably ChatGPT can read it. Yeah.
Yeah, sure, no worries.
No, never mind. Let's just go through the video again. Never mind. Let's maybe we can find a better screenshot later.
Yeah, sure.
To take the girl.
We
And we should be okay with
already
that.
said that we shouldn't do that because of these studies that we've shown you, and you're not responding to them
Yeah,
for
so
some reason.
just
Can you have
No,
sex?
nobody should be having intercourse with someone who's 9 years old because
So Muhammad was saying.
no, it doesn't follow.
Intercourse today.
Yes, it does.
It doesn't
No, it
follow. You know why it doesn't follow? Because at that point it didn't entail harm.
Yes, it did.
Okay, I'm giving you a reason why it didn't.
Yes, it did.
Can you address that? According to Peter D. Gluckman,
What's the name of the paper?
development.
Evolution developed in the timing of puberty.
Exactly, beautiful. And he makes the conclusion in his graph that there was a point when menarche and pubescence were in correlation.
Like, this is a lie. Like, he's saying that this entail harm. Where's the evidence for that? Did Aisha ever said that she was harmed? Where is he getting that? Like, that's the whole point. He has no evidence for any of his claims. He's saying that this entails harm, but he provides no evidence for it. He argues that this is based on natural law, and he cannot provide any arguments or evidence that this isn't based on natural law. Right? He's just denying it and then repeating the same point, which is that Islam allows this. Their books teaches this. He's supposed to be perfect, but this is allowed. But yeah, and there's no contradiction between him being perfect and this law being allowed, right? Because it's not immoral. That's our position. He's just strawmanning them.
Young
We're not
marriage is
saying
immoral.
contradiction.
Immoral, young marriage immoral. But where's the basis for this? What is the basis for saying that young marriages are immoral anyway? You see what he's not quoting anything from the Bible as well.
Yeah.
Yeah. So what's the basis for this? Is
He's
it
acting as if- No,
he's
actually, let me
acting-
explain. Like,
yeah, go ahead.
he's acting as if like our position is that this is something that's immoral. Therefore, what the Prophet did is immoral.
Yeah.
Right? it contradicts morality. Therefore,
Yeah.
it follows that Prophet did something immoral. But that's not our position.
Yeah.
We're not saying
Yeah.
that the Prophet did something immoral, right?
Yeah.
And we're not
Yeah.
saying that this is something immoral. Now,
Yeah.
you could argue about whether this principle, like based on law or legal system, how it can be applied in different time period. That's something that can be debated, but that has
Yes.
nothing to do with
Yes.
like the morality of it, right?
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah, let's continue.
That is no longer the
No,
case.
no, you're confusing the chart. The chart is age of monarchy in social cycle development.
Exactly.
That's the point, though.
Were they matching at some point?
What was that? Yeah, they were.
Are they matching today?
No, they're not. No, that's not the point. The point is that the green on the chart, what you're pulling up there, the green shows when age of monarchy happened. And at that time, they're saying, well, the girls didn't need that much education at that time to develop. So they could be more implemented in society quicker. But now we have more education because it's better for them. Thank God, thank good for the West promoting more education. Amen to that. So, so let's go on that. So that's the problem. Age of monarchy did not happen according to that paper at 9. There is no
So he's talking about the West. What does that have to do with Christianity?
possible
That's
way.
right.
Let me finish.
Right,
There's no possible way that Aisha could have reached puberty, could have had her first period at 9, according to the paper you cited, because that shows it had to happen after the age of 10, and that was at least.
This is a lie. Like we have, like in our stream when we're reviewing the debate between him and Daniel, we already showed evidence that Aisha did reach puberty. I mean, there are countless evidence of it. Like she literally says, that her hair fell out, and also the Prophet waited for like 3 years, right? And also I believe before she reached Medina, she even says that she has reached the age of reason, right? And this is a hadith that's a Sahih hadith, based on in the past. So he's saying this based on no evidence. He's saying that she didn't reach age of puberty because my research based on modern times says so, but there's no evidence that she didn't reach puberty. That's literally the law. And also there's a hadith by Prophet where it clearly says that people are free from the pen are those who haven't reached puberty. And the puberty is when age of maturity is coming. So why would then he marry someone before puberty, right? It doesn't make sense. Bro, you there?
Yeah. Sorry, I was reading something. Yeah. You were saying. Sorry, I didn't quite catch it.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
I think you missed all that. But anyway,
It's okay. Yeah.
The point I was making is that
Yeah.
he's basically arguing.
Yeah. Yeah.
Sorry, I lost train of thought. Let's continue, shall we?
1% only.
Wait, hold on. So you agreed with me earlier when I first asked you in regards to somebody getting pregnant, they would have to have their period first, right?
Yes, and Aisha couldn't.
Okay, but I gave you an example. You said it's an impossibility. Is it logically impossible
Is it logically impossible for what?
for somebody to not have their period before 9 or at 9?
No, wait, hold on. What are you saying? This doesn't
You said
follow what I was
it's
supposed to say.
impossible for her to have had her period by then, correct?
Biologically, yes.
Okay, and I gave you an example of today.
Today,
Modern
yes.
modern
By the way, we have eyewitness from that time period of people getting married, people having children. Like this is
Yeah.
a stupid argument.
Yeah.
day, a girl who's at the age of 5 had her period and she was pregnant as well.
Yeah,
So it's not impossible.
So basically, what you're saying is there was this crazy genetic.
She's not the
fluke.
only- no, it's not the only thing.
The
I'm giving you
reason
an
why that can
example
happen
by
today is because, according to the paper you cited,
Right.
nutrition has gotten better. And if nutrition got better, that means the age of monarchy starts to lower. But in the time of Muhammad, it wasn't. It was higher.
Really?
So yeah.
Oh,
that's
okay,
how
okay,
all this
sorry,
stuff
sorry,
is.
sorry,
It says more than that.
One second, one second, sorry.
So the rule-
I think misinterpreted the paper.
What paper? Did he cite any paper?
Yeah, I think he's talking about the research paper that was. The
Oh,
theory.
okay. Do you have that paper, by the way? Did you download it or anything?
No, I don't think I have it.
Okay. Yeah, but anyway, it doesn't matter whether there's a paper or not. I mean, the things that he says are just all mostly based on
Yeah, I
values
mean,
of
like
today.
the things
Yeah.
he's saying, it does
Yeah.
not establish his point.
Yeah, it doesn't prove that it doesn't even prove that young marriages are immoral, because he's arguing from a
Yeah.
point of morality, right? Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, his argument is that Islam allows young marriages, therefore Islam will cause young marriages.
Yeah,
Itself doesn't
yeah.
follow logically,
Yeah.
and also
yeah.
it also doesn't
That's right.
follow that. Uh,
Yeah.
that
Yeah.
because young
In fact,
marriage
yeah,
will
yeah,
cause
in fact,
harm,
Yeah.
therefore
Yeah.
young
Yeah.
marriage will cause harm. It doesn't follow.
Yeah. In fact, I would argue that the premise Islam allows young marriages is also not representative of the truth as well. It's a
Yeah.
half truth, because as the situation changes, and what do you define by young, right? I mean, during the time of the Prophet, yes, I mean,
During the time of the Prophet, a
yeah,
15-year-old was going to war.
at the time of Prophet, 9 years old are not considered young. Okay. Yeah,
Yeah.
once you reach puberty, you're not young. Okay, today, yes, you will be considered young if you are 9 years old or 10 years old. But back then, 9 years old is not considered to be young. In fact, like you mentioned, 15 years old going to war. I think it was a Sahabi. What was his name? I don't remember. He was 15 years old when he went to Tabuk. Okay, when he was the Prophet at first did not allow him to go to Tabuk, but then he insisted on it. So in the end, the Prophet just relented and he went to Tabuk to war with the Prophet at 15 years old. Okay.
Yeah.
How many 15 years old you know now today going to war? Okay.
By the way,
that doesn't mean it's immoral, is it? Yeah.
By the way, that's one of the evidences one of the scholars use
Yeah,
to argue
yeah.
that age of marriage can be at the age of 15.
Yeah.
It's that hadith.
Yeah.
Imam al-Qurtubi, if you read Imam al-Qurtubi's tafsir of the verse where Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala talks about age of marriage for the orphans, that's where he mentions this. But anyway.
Yeah, so Imam al-Shafi'i, okay, he's somebody who comes after Muhammad, peace be upon him. He speaks about the individuals of his time period, as well as Aisha radiallahu anha, by the way, but this is afterwards. So Imam al-Shafi'i, rahimahullah, he speaks about the people that come after in his time period, okay, and he says that he has observed with his own eyes where an individual who was 9 years old, okay, she gave birth to one child, and then her child
Where's
gave
it?
birth. Yeah, this is in his books.
Where's the source?
It's Salam.
So it's an Islamic source.
He's a historian.
He's observing
because he's someone that's contemporary to that time and he's making observation.
So according to you, so again, I said this was an external critique. I'm saying that if that was you said it now too.
Again, this is
So now it's an external critique. Oh, if Imam Ash-Shafi'i comments on it, oh no, you cannot do that. It's not. You need to do an external critique. But if you want to say that the Prophet married Aisha when she was 9, oh, that's fine. That's acceptable because it's still within the text.
Well, he's using evidence from Islam to argue that, this is immoral. But then they're giving evidence that goes against him. All of a sudden, it's not acceptable.
It's not acceptable. You need to do external critique.
Yeah, but like he's quoting the scriptures to make an argument.
He's quoting from the hadith to establish his point, but he doesn't allow us. He doesn't allow us to refute his point using that very same sources. Oh my God, this guy is.
No, I mean, like he's claiming that he's making an external argument, but he's using our sources. How's that external?
That as well. I mean, there's two sides to it, right? So that's also a valid concern. Okay, so this he's not consistent. I mean,
so it's only external when we use evidences that goes against you.
Yeah. It's only external when.
By the way, that's not even what that means. By the way, when someone says internal critique versus external critique, what that means is that you're not beholden to the kind of like the principles of the opposition. And by the way, no one is asking you to accept the principles, our principles. What we're asking, what they're saying is that since you're already using our sources, then why are you not using sources that contradicts that, right?
Exactly.
Because it doesn't follow. And this, by the way, this doesn't mean you're not being external. You're still being external. You're just using historical references.
Yes, that's right.
But if you're going to say that, oh, this is historical, therefore it's external, but this is not historical, therefore it's not external, then you could give an explanation for why, because they're both from the same sources.
I think the guy is confused, man. He's confused. Yeah.
Sources that contradict each other. The paper, Evolution, Development, and the Timing of Puberty, shows that could not have happened.
No,
Then you said,
what is
your Islamic sources?
What is it?
According to Islamic sources, it did happen. Therefore, you just said Islam contradicts reality. Thank you.
So real quick, you're making a few bundles. First of all, the study says it couldn't have happened because the study, number one, it doesn't account for the specific sample within Middle Eastern countries, number one, and it doesn't account for anomalies. That's number two. Number three, Imam Shafi'i in Risala, he does mention this, and he's someone that's contemporary to
So let's go on anomalies. We're talking about which is better, anomalies. So if an anomaly has to have sex with
Okay,
them,
can you finish?
Again, to have sex with
Let me finish. No, you shouldn't do that. I already clarified.
Whoa, okay, good.
So let me finish. So again, we know in the case, according to the study, in the case that someone is pubescent at that time, it wouldn't entail harm. That's by your concession because you see that because you said that it's not possible for Aisha to be pubescent. If it was the case, then according to you and the conclusion made from the study, then it would follow indeed. Right?
You're taking what I said out of context.
No.
Let me clarify. I did not say I said there was no. I'm talking about pre-pubescent. Aisha was pre-pubescent.
We disagree with that.
Yeah,
So that point.
What is he talking about? Where's his evidence for this? What are you talking about? Where's the evidence?
Prepubescent. I mean, the hadith clearly say that she was already mature enough to get married. Although his understanding of prepubescent doesn't apply.
By the way, this is a straw man. That's not our position. Our position, based on our scholars, is that she was not prepubescent. She was a prepubescent.
Exactly that.
That's our position. So what he's arguing, he's arguing against imaginary argument no one made.
External
or
critique,
attacking,
external critique, external critique.
making 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 imaginary argument no one made.
Yeah. But he's
There's
using
harm.
external
When I was
critique.
talking about harm, I mentioned physical and mental harm as well.
Beautiful.
So it doesn't matter. You're having teen,
Doesn't matter.
preteen, anything. It's going to be harmful to them. We should reject this. Sex with anyone under 18 should be outlawed.
Well, according to
Islam says it's okay.
Christianity,
That's
Can we move to the final point and move to
Hold on,
the
hold on.
second
I just
point?
want to know, is that according to Christianity or is that according to
Apparently-
I guess Ezekiel 16,
modern,
yes.
modern secular?
Apparently,
Ezekiel 16
uh,
is
What
speaking
translation?
numbers versus
Yeah.
18.
It says enter puberty in the NIV.
No, no.
Yeah, none
Yeah,
of this
apparently-
is Christianity.
Apparently, the US doesn't do a good job outlawing, underage sex because you have people in high school still doing it with each other in high school. So no point having the law say outlawing, marriages below 18 when people are still doing it before 18.
Yeah.
So it's totally pointless. You can see that this shows the failure of a secular society. You see, because
Yeah.
they don't base it on religious principles. They just base it on what they think feels good for them. Okay. Okay. It goes against human nature, right? To
Yeah.
disallow marriages at puberty. Honestly speaking, totally ban total ban of it. But it doesn't help their society at all. There's still people who are doing it before 18. Okay? If their laws are perfect and if their laws are the right way to do it, then there should be no consummation or no sexual intercourse before the age of 18. But people are still doing it anyway. Okay,
Yeah.
regardless. Yeah. You understand what I mean?
Yeah, and it gives you,
Let me read
hold on, it
I
gives you
gotta read
certain
them.
indications of
Hold on,
pubescence,
let me
which
read
we
it.
also don't disagree with, right?
Let me read
Pubic hair, the growing of breasts, etc. Those are also indications that we have as well. So that doesn't contradict Islam.
So when does puberty complete?
yeah, again, it completes when the
Can we,
individual goes through all of
let's
the
When
allow
does puberty complete?
Shift to get word as well.
So when puberty completes between the ages of 15 or 17.
By the way, he's keep repeating the same
Yeah,
point.
yeah,
It's
he
been
just-
repeated
yeah.
already, so I think we can kind of skip it.
Okay. Yeah.
Or maybe we can pick this up another day. What do you think, bro?
Yeah, maybe we should do that. I think it's going to be very long, right?
Sadly,
So
we've only covered like 20 minutes.
my
maybe
God, it's already 2 hours,
if we
man.
can cover, go up to skip ahead. And see.
Islamic
Yeah.
perspective, there is no such thing as having intimacy with a prepubescent.
You have not.
We have.
No,
We have. But
Did
actually,
not
that's not-
consummate the marriage at
that's
nine.
not-
Did he consummate the marriage at 9?
Does not automatically necessitate a child?
Yes. Did he
No, I think what she meant to ask is that does 9 automatically constitute a non-puberty? Because he doesn't establish that. He's claiming she reached puberty. What's your evidence for that? Like, Burner's proof was in you, but
Oh, it
Marriage at
doesn't. You still have a proof of that. You
Yeah,
have
there
a
is
proof of that.
no
You literally just said 15 to 17. Okay, fine. Is that the case globally?
Yes.
No, it's not.
Yes,
I can literally
I
bring
can
you
explain
PubMed
you why. I can
papers right
explain you
now.
why. I can explain why.
I
Very
wasn't
simple.
done. I wasn't done.
I can explain you
I'm not
why.
done. I'm not
It's
done.
quite simple. Hip development.
Okay.
Hip development.
Oh my God. Yeah, PubMed says that when it comes to puberty and when it comes to menarche, there's a paper. I can cite it for you if you want. I can for you right now. Okay. It literally says that pubescence can be achieved at different
Wait,
points and
pause
it's achieved
for a while.
via different social. So
By the way, who's the brother next to the Muslim apologetic? The guy who's looking at his phone. He seems so bored listening to it. Who's he? I'm just
brother
kidding.
Dawa Sira, I think his name is.
Who?
Sira Dawa, I think his name is.
Oh,
He's a
okay. Okay.
There's
Oh, it's a
channel.
new YouTuber, yeah? Okay, I've never
Yeah.
seen him before. Yeah, it's the first time I'm seeing
does
him.
have a channel.
I mean, before this video, that is. Oh, he has a channel? Oh, I didn't know. I don't know about his channel. But this is the first time I saw him in this video. Yeah. This was the first time I saw him in this video. Yeah. I mean, the others I've
He's
seen.
very good at citing kind of Christian sources, but he's been kind of quiet in this debate.
But he looks
grab
quite
it?
bored.
Yeah.
I don't blame him. It's really a boring thing to listen to IP.
Yeah. I mean, like, he's just repeating the same point over and over again,
Yeah,
and he has
yeah,
not
that's
made a single shred of. And this is the thing, like I think the brothers, they should have actually made an argument against Christianity.
Yeah, I noticed that. I noticed
arguments
that as well.
they
Yeah.
come up
yeah.
with, like, even if
Yeah.
we say grant for the sake of argument,
Yeah.
Islam does allow quote unquote
Yeah. Yeah.
CP. It's
Okay.
still like what Christianity allows is still worse than that,
Yeah.
right?
Exactly.
and it can be
Exactly.
argued whether or not Christianity actually disallows this or not.
I think the brothers and sister were too defensive. They were trying to establish the Islamic position on marriage to the point that they seem to forget that you can use this as a counter attack on Christianity. They forgot about that somehow.
Yeah.
But I don't
Basically,
blame them
like,
because
the point is that Christianity allows something that's way worse than child marriage, cousin marriage,
Yeah.
polygamy.
yeah.
All of
I
this
mean-
is
I mean,
pales in
on
comparison in terms of
yeah,
genocide.
I mean, honestly speaking, let's say we grant IP's argument that Islam is harmful because it allows child marriage, and it's very, very bad for society. How does that prove the truth of Christianity?
Yeah.
How does that
To be
prove
fair,
the
they're
truth of
not
Christianity?
arguing about the truth
Yeah.
of religion. They're basically
Or,
arguing.
I mean, how does it prove that Christianity is better? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It doesn't prove anything. Yeah, it doesn't prove his point at all. Okay,
Yeah.
it doesn't prove his point at all. Yeah, it just means that one religion is doing the other. There's nothing. There's nothing. There's nothing. Nothing groundbreaking about this. You see?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
To economic, these are all different
Does it say
factors that come into place. It literally talks about
Being complete-
individuals going through puberty.
Being completed.
Yeah, so it goes from the age of 11 all the way up until
Being
the age of
completed.
17 to 18. It's
Being,
completely
anything show hip development is complete at age 11.
He doesn't have a letter talk.
Oh my God, this guy.
Yeah, so it's talking
No,
about
there
puberty.
are none. It is biologically impossible for the hips of a girl to not be
Yeah,
complete.
we
from the
can
age of
allow,
15 to
you can make that, and I want to move on to the
Do you-
other factors as well, because
do
just
you
only one thing,
realize
I
that
want to
I just want to
No,
Muhammad.
Do you realize that he's repeating his points again? I think he mentioned about the hips
Yeah.
earlier, right? Yeah, he's repeating the
Yeah,
same
yeah,
thing
yeah.
again, right?
Straight to marriage with a 9-year-old.
No,
Okay, so there, this guy basically made a blunder here. He said that the marriage.
What did he
didn't
say?
happen.
Sorry, what did he
said
say?
that- He said that the age of Aisha was not 9. I think that's what.
Oh, okay, yeah. He's using the revisionist argument. Yeah, I don't agree with that
Yeah.
position. Yeah. To me, I don't agree with
No,
that.
what I'm
one
saying-
because-
what I'm saying-
Yes or no?
You're saying no to
Just say
that.
yes or no and expound.
what I'm saying here is that she was not a child at the time of marriage. She's not a child at the time of consummation. In fact, even in the traditional account, there's a waiting period. Now, this comes to the other angle I was trying to get to, is why do marriages take place in the first place? Marriages take place not just for intimacy. They take place, especially for a leader, they take place to establish alliances. And this is
That-
Yeah, often
That
this
is well,
marriage at
yeah,
the
that's a
time
valid point.
about
Yeah, that's a valid point. Yeah, yeah,
political lines.
yeah.
in a way, it goes back
Marriage
to
is
the
not.
issue of political.
Who was Aisha's father?
Yeah,
Abu Bakr.
Oh, and he did establish an alliance with him?
You don't understand.
yeah. Oops.
Sorry about this.
It's okay. Yeah, you didn't pay for
Eastern culture
premium.
is when you want to bring
Yeah.
people together for various political or social reasons, you do so through the vehicle of marriage.
That doesn't change anything I'm saying, though.
No,
a
no,
9-year-old
no,
is
no,
always
hold
a
on,
child.
hold on.
Always a child. What Muhammad
No
A
one is
9-year-old
saying
is always a
that
child.
not
No
child.
child. No,
No one is arguing otherwise. What's his point?
No, I
This
mean,
was evil. He's not a good
I
moral
can,
example.
I can show evidences from ancient Egypt where Tutankhamun was married off when he was 8
No.
years old. So
No. What I mean is that when he's saying that a 9-year-old is a child, he
Yeah.
is referring to modern context. Right?
modern context,
Yeah,
it's
modern
fine.
context.
It's fine. Yeah.
Modern
We don't have any problems
sure.
with that. Yeah.
We can argue.
Yeah,
We
sure.
can agree
Sure.
that
Sure.
9-year-old in the modern context, would be
Yeah.
in school,
Yeah. Yeah.
your child, whatever.
Yeah.
But
They
we're
took
talking
it
about
to-
ancient history.
Yeah.
Then it's not the same
Yes,
thing.
yes.
So here he's committing the equivocation fallacy,
Yeah.
right? He's using the
Yeah,
same word
yeah.
to mean two
Yes,
different
fallacy,
things, two different time
yeah.
periods.
Yes. Equivocation
Yeah.
as well as
Using
presentism,
God,
as
yeah.
you mentioned before. Yeah.
Yeah.
Two fallacies.
So this guy's
yeah.
extremely deceptive.
Yeah.
He should be thrown out because he's actually causing all sorts of
What
harm.
about Yahweh?
We see this happening in Iraq. We see this happening in
Moses.
Sudan, in Yemen, where they think it's okay to start sleeping with children.
I guess
Unfortunately, you're just
By the way, like what we see from in regards to Christianity is things like genocide is still happening now against the Palestinian
Yeah.
people.
Right,
It's still happening now in Myanmar, against the Rohingyas.
Yes.
So
yes.
and that is 100 times more harmful than any of these practices, right? 100 times more harmful, and
Yeah.
it's allowed in
Yeah.
Christianity.
Right.
So,
Right.
like even if you, and also like even if this is happening in the Muslim world, that has nothing to do with Islam as a religion.
Yes.
So he didn't like he failed to establish any point here. Like if his argument is that because Islam allows this, therefore Islam is causing this, it doesn't follow. Like even if we
Right.
say for the granted for the sake of argument.
Right.
appealing to emotions. That's it. That's all you're doing. You're appealing, you're,
I just
you're,
like
you're,
studies.
you're,
You want
you're,
some studies?
you're appealing to emotions.
So you think it's okay to? I just want to be clear.
No, nobody said on the panel.
No one said
I don't know. Wait, one second, real quick. I don't know why you keep going back to that same question.
Yeah. That's because I know what he's doing. He's saying the same emotional rhetoric over and over again. Oh, the moment Muhammad was this, Islam allows this, right? In order to appeal to his Christian audience to rile them up, right? Rile them up because he knows that's all they need to hear. That's all they need to hear to establish the cult and to stay in their cult, basically.
Answered like a few times.
You don't answer.
No, we always said
quite
no.
literally said
Nobody today should be married.
I'm not talking about Muhammad.
Let me finish.
I'm talking about Muhammad. Did Muhammad do something immoral?
No, we don't believe that.
Okay, so sleeping and having is not immoral.
brother,
presence
this-
is valid.
Like again, like is this presentism, right? I mean, like he didn't
is.
establish in the past this is something that's wrong.
It is.
Like, that's what you're doing. You're saying that, hey, it was, it's moral today, therefore it must have been immoral back then. But you would even agree, Mr. IP, that there's things that we can derive through reason, and over time we can trial and test. For example, according to you in the 22, 28, and 29, Yahweh bit, it says that if somebody rapes a child, they can marry that child, right?
No, it doesn't. No, it does not. That's a lie. That's a lie. Can you know what the word says?
That's not a lie. That's in the Bible.
Okay.
I mean, the idea of rape, if you rape someone, then you can marry them. That's literally in the Bible.
Now,
Yeah, it is
Robert,
like that.
now you would say that, hey, that at that specific time point would be moral. But because, let me land.
No.
But because of how society operates today, because of what we know as Islam as urf, or aka accustoming to the natural custom of society, therefore we deem impermissible through reason, natural theology.
So, okay, good. So we use our reason.
Beautiful.
So we need to develop on what it's all
Thank you.
about.
So, wait,
He just kept talking. Now he wants to keep going.
accessible to you. Well, you do need to drink alcohol. So guess what? Islam, in that specific condition, allows reason to say that, hey, this thing is going to be the only viable way to live, therefore it's going to be permissible. So yes, Islam is compatible with natural law. It is compatible with reconciling specific commands over time.
Great. So reason, let's go on that.
No. You said the thing, Muhammad is said to receive revelation. Well, according to Yahweh, when it's spoken from, he's also given revelation. That's not a defeated argument. You have to show why is it the case that Deuteronomy gave the law to marry children, yet we don't do it today. Right?
So let me get back to this. My main point: can you marry a 9-year-old? Is that allowed in Islam?
How many times did he ask this? How many times? Like, this is nothing to do with age. He keeps misrepresenting. He keeps asking the same question. Like, this
He's
is
just
nothing-
repeating the same thing. At this juncture, it's already getting quite boring. I'm trying to stay very hard, stay awake.
Yeah. He's literally just repeating the same question over and over.
Yeah, he's just
And
repeating.
they already
It's
answered.
harm, causing harm.
They
The
already
child,
answered
it's a
this,
child.
right? I mean, like, they already answered this, which is that marriage is not about age, right? We're
Yeah.
talking about puberty.
Yeah,
And it's established through natural law that at that time it was allowed. But
Yeah,
even
that's
if we grant, for the sake of argument, his point in that, Islam did allow this kind of marriages, that doesn't mean this kind of marriages caused harm at that time.
right.
He didn't establish that. He didn't establish that
Right.
Aisha was quote unquote harmed by this.
Right.
And then it also doesn't establish that it will cause harm now or in the future. It doesn't
Right.
follow.
Right.
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 So so it doesn't follow that this proves that Islam is harmful for society. It just doesn't follow.
Did they know?
Today, no, it was. It was.
Right.
So what? So in that
And
time,
you could marry children and now you can't.
Well, let me
you know what I just-
I'm showing you the double standard.
I'm going to get to Deuteronomy. I'm going to get to Deuteronomy.
He's gonna
Okay.
get to Deuteronomy.
So
He's gonna get to
you're at 28, right?
22,
28.
Yep.
Yeah. So go back to my point about child marriage, though. Okay. You just basically became a moral relativist. Okay. Because now the point now, let me finish.
IP think that's moral relativism?
Habibi,
Right.
calm down, man. It's gonna be okay. So because now it's okay to have a girl at the time of Muhammad, and it caused all the harm then. But now because we've used reason and science, we can now know that the guidance that Allah was giving
That's not
Muhammad.
moral relativism.
And there it goes again. There it goes again. There it goes again. There it goes
Right,
again.
And then he just saying,
right.
"Get
So
to
now we can
Deuteronomy."
use we can now use reason and guidance to know that Allah was wrong. Thank you. Islam is
Again, that's a straw man. That's not what they're saying. Right? They're not saying, they're not taking a moral relativist position. They're basically
Yeah.
saying the application of moral principles is different than the morality itself. Like,
Yeah.
no Muslim argues that somehow it was immoral back then what the Prophet ﷺ did. Like, no one is arguing
Yeah.
this.
Yeah.
What they're saying
yeah.
is a law based on this moral, because you need to understand, Islamic law is not just based on this one marriage of Prophet ﷺ. It's based
Yes.
on a lot of different. It's based on the Quran. It's based on Hadith. It's based on like different examples of different marriages throughout
Right.
Islamic
Right.
history, right?
Yes.
So that like
Yes.
the scholars take all of that and then make a ruling out of it, and then they also
Right.
take into account the current context, right? So
Right.
fiqh is not just like this. This is what this moron doesn't understand. Fiqh isn't just simply this one hadith. That's not how it
Yeah.
works.
Yeah. Yeah.
So like he doesn't understand what we're saying. Like our morality is not just that the prophet did X, therefore this is to be absolute in every time period.
Yeah, no, it doesn't
No one
say that.
argues.
No. That's not fake. That's not fake. I mean, fake is based on the situation at the time. Okay,
Yeah.
it changes. It can change.
Yeah.
It's based on what the prophet did, but it also adapts to the situation as well. Okay. Yeah.
And this isn't moral relativism, by the way, because
Yeah.
we're not saying morally what the prophet did was wrong, but that
Yeah.
would be moral relativism. No one
Yeah.
is arguing that. We're saying
Yeah.
what happened was completely justified and moral,
Yes. Yes.
both from a natural law perspective and based on
Right. Right.
even from modern perspective.
Right.
But how we apply that in today's time can differ
Yeah.
because
Yes.
the context have changed. Right? For
Yes.
example, Prophet ﷺ at the past used to ride on camels, right? He used to fight using swords. Doesn't mean
Yeah.
in modern times we're also going to use swords and ride
Yeah.
on camels.
Because use camels. Yeah. Exactly. I mean, there was no internet at that time during the time of prophet. So we shouldn't be on the internet because the prophet didn't have internet. this kind of
Yeah.
logic is crazy, man.
It's not something
crazy.
that the Prophet. It's not something that's even like in the Sunnah. Like
Yeah.
the Prophet
Yeah.
said, that you can only marry like after
Yeah.
the age,
Yeah.
during
Yeah.
at the age of puberty, and
Yeah,
not later
doesn't
on.
say that at all. It's just one of the possibilities. Okay? One of the possibilities. Yeah, like that. Like for example, the
Islam, the guy
Prophet
that gave
married.
it through Muhammad.
Sorry, I was going to say that. Like for example, the Prophet married widows, right? He didn't marry any. He only married Aisha, just one virgin. So since the majority of the Prophet's marriages were widows, does that mean that Muslims must marry widows only? Only widows? You see?
Yeah.
So that doesn't follow. I mean, this guy just doesn't get it. You see?
Yeah. All right, let's continue.
Is wrong to have. In Christian society,
You answered that question a bunch of
Okay,
times.
Exactly. And he answered it like 50
let me land my main point. I'll land my point.
That's where Islam actually progresses.
We're talking about
So this is where they're ending this portion, I think.
Okay. All right.
which
Okay.
society is going to produce better. Sorry, which religion is
Okay,
going
but
to
we want to get
produce
across multiple points.
There you go.
So, no,
I'm trying to wrap up so we can. Don't worry, okay? The point we're trying to get is which is actually producing. I'm over here saying that Christian societies has outlawed this stuff. It's wrong. It's evil. You guys are saying no, it can't
He says
happen in some
societies.
circumstances.
He just said.
We're talking about which society is going to produce. They use the Septuagint as a source for like prophecy, typology, that kind of stuff.
And they get them wrong there.
But Matthew also uses
They
Hebrew.
get it wrong
Doesn't change
there
it.
too. They
This
get it
is
wrong
so
there too.
irrelevant to
So
be a real
in the
point.
LXX, does it use the word paida?
I don't have to look it up. That's irrelevant to the point.
Look it up.
No. I don't get it. This is so irrelevant. I already addressed this.
How is it relevant?
Do you agree?
Relevant.
Do you agree that it is wrong to have in Christian society?
You answered that question a bunch of times.
Exactly. And he answered it.
So basically, in this portion, I think I kind of missed it. But in this portion, he actually agrees that Christianity at one point allowed this. Like I think they bring up the statement of Saint Augustine and what's his name, Thomas Aquinas, right?
Yeah,
They
Thomas
defend,
Aquinas,
like,
yeah.
foster
Yeah,
God and like
yeah.
marriage.
Somatological.
And so basically, he said, yeah, in the past they allowed it, but that doesn't mean like it's allowed now. No, we reject it. Like, the Old
It is very
Testament.
dumb.
right?
That's very dumb. Yeah.
I think I need to go back a bit to see where he actually said that. I think maybe it's here.
My main point. Can you marry a 9-year-old? Is that allowed in Islam?
No, today no.
Today, no. No, it was. It was.
Right.
So what? So in that
And in
time,
Deuteronomy, you could have children and now you can't.
Well, let me talk.
But you don't want to address
I'm showing you that understanding.
Okay, I think that was a mistake that the brother made. I think what he meant to say is that, there's nothing morally wrong with kind of like marrying at the age of puberty, but that's what
Yeah.
he's really saying.
Yeah.
So he's saying that at the time, it was allowed, no problem there, and now the context may be different. So we can,
Yeah.
like the scholars can decide what to do with that. Right?
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm going to get to Deuteronomy. I'm going to get to Deuteronomy.
He's gonna
Okay.
get to Deuteronomy.
So you're at 28, right?
22,
22, 28. Yeah.
Right,
So
I got this.
go back to my point about child. Hold on. It's a Hebrew, man.
So they bring up Deuteronomy 22 to 28. Which
Yeah.
basically refers to the age of marriage. It clearly refers to a child.
Yeah.
I think.
Yeah. Yeah. I actually mentioned this in my paper.
We only go on the original language. So we can't use the original. They said they want me to get to Deuteronomy 28.
First is Deuteronomy, and what you're
So the word is tafas. That is the same word used in Genesis when the wife of Potiphar grabs Joseph's cloak and says, "Come to bed with me." That does not mean rape. When you said it meant rape, it lied. You're going off the NIV translation. That is wrong. It just means to sort of flirtatiously seize. And we see that in the parallel passage in Exodus when it talks about when a man seduces a girl and they're found, and you'll pay those shekels to the father.
There's a big problem with that, though, is that the Latin Vulgate translates Deuteronomy 22, 28 to 29 the same way as it translates 25 to 27, which you already agree is about
It's
rape.
Latin.
So there's no point of taking 28 to 29 to not be about rape when your earliest Christians translate and understand it to be about rape.
They were wrong.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, see, that's the difference.
How convenient.
The earliest Christians were wrong, he says.
Actually, I mentioned this this particular passage in my paper. Do you want me to read it? I mean, want to share it for?
Sure.
I actually mentioned it in my paper. Yeah. Yeah, there, the law of the rape victim. Okay. So
Yeah, yeah.
Deuteronomy chapter 22, verses 28 to 29 establishes that a man who sees her in life with an betrothed virgin must pay her 50 shekels and marry her. The girl's age is not addressed by the legislator, nor is any concern for it registered. Okay. The matter is treated as a legal economic transaction between men over a piece of female property. So this is the verse.
Yeah.
Okay. This is a particular
Yeah,
verse in
yeah.
question. And then we have also, prior to that, we also have the law of the sole daughter. Okay. So we
Yeah.
have Exodus 21, verses 7 to 11. And Israel Friday may sell his daughter as a maid servant. Okay. Age is not specified. There's no age specified. So you can marry you can sell a young girl at 3 years old, it doesn't matter, or even at 9.
Yeah.
It doesn't have to be at puberty.
And Michael thinks none of this is harmful.
No. Yeah. Okay. If you read the book of Esther, okay, you read the book of Esther. Esther was taken into as a harem of King Ahasuerus. Okay. Okay. The text describes a 12-month preparation. It doesn't mention at all the minimum age. There's no mention of Esther's age, whether she was 18 at the time. It just says that she has reached puberty. Okay. So yeah, and then
all right. Okay, I think we can get to all of this later on.
Yeah. Okay, so yeah, I think that's pretty much So you want to continue this
Hold on. Let's get to at least 40-minute mark. I think that's
okay. All right.
I use actually the Bible to show you what the word means. Evil. You guys are saying, no, it can't happen in some circumstances, and therefore it's okay. That's the point I'm trying to drive home here. You guys keep saying it's okay to have, if the circumstances allow, but that's what Islam teaches. And then you're just saying, well, reason and science.
They're not saying that. That's a strong one.
It says that we can't. Great. Reason and science contradict Islam, and we use that instead of Islam. That's my point. So we get back to the main point.
Again, like this is a complete straw man. None of them argued this. As if we're talking about natural law, something that Paul himself brings up. Paul brings up natural law. This is your morality.
Yes.
Your morality. You're rejecting your own morality.
All right, we'll just close out on this topic.
Beautiful. Go ahead.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of problems. You said that it's been totally banned, but we see historically speaking, like it's found in A Lily Among the Thorns, that historically speaking, Christians would use verses like Numbers 31 and Deuteronomy 22 to justify raping young girls and finding that to be holy. Also, you're trying to like completely just ignore the Septuagint, but your Christian saints like Augustine and stuff make arguments that if the Torah is preserved, then it's preserved in all recessions, including the Septuagint. So we have to look at the texts and compare the Hebrew and the Septuagint and understand the meanings from both of them. You can't just only look at the Hebrew, you have to look at the Hebrew and the Septuagint. And in the Septuagint, it uses the word force.
By the way, he completely destroyed him.
And child is being forced to be married.
No, that's not true.
Yeah, so just one more thing to add to what you were
Just say no. That's
So
it.
when we're looking at modern day societies as well, you're saying that because these things don't occur in Christian societies, that therefore means, and that they do occur in Islamic societies, that therefore means that Islam is worse for for society in general than Christianity. Is that
I'm saying yes, because
that's what you're saying, right?
Well,
I'm not done. I'm just trying to make sure that's what you
one
said.
sentence.
Okay, go ahead.
Because you guys even acknowledge Islam is allowing with girls under 18, that is going to produce worse results. They won't even let me make the sentence. Let me make the sentence. Calm down. Okay. That is going to produce worse societies by your own admission. Yes, it will, because the studies show it does.
Cool. So
so that's literally his argument. It doesn't follow. Like again, these guys supposedly studied philosophy. He doesn't understand basic logic. It doesn't follow. Like just because something's happening in one society more than other society, that doesn't mean what the society believes is responsible for that. It doesn't follow.
Yeah.
Like for example, if one society believes that sky is blue, another society doesn't believe the sky is red, that has nothing to do with whether this one society commits one crime more than other society, right? It doesn't follow. Like what is he saying?
is. Do you know what Mill's method of difference is?
I don't know off the top of my head.
What happens is you guys ask him a
Okay.
question.
It's not rhetorical. I can explain it. No problem. Mill's method of difference just simply tells us that if it's the case that we're proposing that some sort of thing has a commonality between two particular events. So in this case, let's talk, for example, a Christian society that has many gangs and a Christian society that doesn't have any gangs. Okay. The individual who's coming to a conclusion saying that, because this society is Christian, it therefore has many gangs, is going to be wrong because there is not only it does not occur only in one society. There is there has to be some other sufficient cause such that it would say that this is the reason why it's occurring in this society and in our. Okay, good. So is it the case that it's occurring in every single Muslim society that there's child marriage?
If you have 5,000 followers on,
Oh yeah.
But this doesn't go to my head. But that doesn't change the point.
Doesn't occur in every single Muslim society.
Just finish your point, and then we're going to move into. You guys acknowledged already that this Islam is allowing and teaching this.
We already. Actually, let me share something. I'm sorry. Let me interrupt. Okay, so there is a gentleman by the name of Hans Kuhn, Catholic theologian, not necessarily a friend of Islam. Okay, not necessarily a friend of Islam. He has some criticism of Islam, but the issue is about about society, about what religion is good for society. So this is what he has to say. Again,
he's a theologian, right?
He's a Catholic theologian.
Theologian. Okay, just want to make sure we know his credentials.
Yes. You want to go Google his name?
No, I'm going to talk to some sociologists later.
All right, go ahead. So is Islam a religion of the law? Originally, it was not a religion of the law, but the religion of an ethic. The Quran is concerned with ethical imperatives for human society, not all of which were new. However, on the new basis of faith, these norms work in favor of more justice, fairness, restraint, moderation, mediation, compassion, and forgiveness.
What's his evidence?
He has a lot of evidence here. I just gave you one.
What's his evidence?
I mean,
no, I want to ask you, what's your evidence? What's your evidence?
It's a very long quotation.
Because I can cite actual researchers, like sociologists.
So you think this is a crackhead or something?
My goodness. Now, he's a theologian according to your admission. Yeah. I'm going to cite an actual book. It's called The Price of Freedom Denied, written by actual researchers in the field.
He doesn't know who. He doesn't.
Pause it.
He doesn't know who Hans Kong is. My God. He doesn't know who Hans Kuang is. My God, this guy is really clueless.
Yeah.
You should Google his name. Hans Kuang is a very well-known theologian. Yeah, he's Catholic. Yeah, but he was at one point excommunicated by the Catholic Church. By the way, so I don't know whether you can call him a Catholic because he wasn't regarded. He's not regarded as a Catholic by the Catholic Church because he had so many views which were against the teaching of the church. Yeah, which contradict the church, like his view of Islam, which, by the way, it's excellent. But I think I have that book before, but I don't know where I put it now. But I've read that book before. Yeah, the one that the brother quoted. So this guy doesn't know who Hans Kuang is, and he just dismisses.
Hans
He doesn't know.
He's arguing and saying things are wrong in Islam that's allowed in Christianity. Like this guy is a mess. This guy's a mess.
So he because he doesn't know who Hans Kuang is, he say, "Oh, what's your evidence? What's your evidence? Can you show me your evidence? Why you?" Was I? I mean, go read Hans Kuang, man. Oh my God.
Cause more persecution. They cause more discrimination than Christian Western society. So actually, I have they put actual research. They run an actual sociological model behind it.
tangent.
So actually, no. I can just cite them and say, no, that your theologian is wrong. The sociologist.
Again, this is a lie. Like
Hans Kuang is wrong. Oh, okay. Hans Kuang is wrong. He thinks he's smarter than Hans Kuang. My God, this guy is delusional, man.
let me address what IP just said right now.
Okay, right.
He's saying that supposedly some researchers, right, argued that supposedly they showed that Islam causes quote unquote more harm than some other Western society. Again, the debate isn't about Western society. The debate is about Islam versus Christianity.
Yeah.
So this is already a straw man argument.
Yeah.
Right. And I'm pretty sure that isn't even true.
Yeah. Right? What is the source for this?
By the way,
what's the research?
Next video when we do the rest of the debate, I'm going to show research that clearly shows that most researchers nowadays, what they do is they use a deceptive tactic, where they will start documenting Muslim societies starting from the 9/11, and they completely ignored history before that. Because if you actually count the history of even at least 10 years before 9/11, you will see the Muslims fall far behind in terms of destruction, death, murder, and whatnot, right?
Yeah.
And because of this, these research papers that he cites is completely dishonest. And I'm going to show how he does that in the next video.
Do you happen to know which paper is he citing from? Because he didn't did he mention it? I don't think he mentioned that paper.
I think he mentions some name of the supposed researchers, but he doesn't say what paper it is.
I want to ask you, what's your evidence? What's your evidence?
It's a very long quotation.
Because I can cite actual researchers like sociologists.
So you think we think this is a crackhead or something?
My goodness. Now,
by the way, it's appeal to authority too. Like just because some scholars say something doesn't make it true. Like you have to give us the argument.
The theologian, according to your admission. Okay, I'm going to cite an actual book. It's called The Price of Freedom Denied, written by actual researchers.
It's a book, Price of Freedom Denied, or something like that.
Oh, okay.
In the field, they say no. Islamic societies cause more persecution.
It's a book written by Christians, by the way. It's not. It's not actual research.
My God. So it's not peer reviewed. So he's calling it research.
Of course not. It's just a book. It's a random book. It's not peer reviewed research. Right?
So it's not research. It's just a book. It's not research. Then it's just a book because it's not peer reviewed. Okay.
Yeah, I mean, all his kind of quote researchers are basically Christians.
Yeah.
In many cases, it's Christians.
Oh
Other times he just Googles whatever research comes up, and even then he lies about those research.
Than Christian Western societies. So actually, I have they put actual research. They run an actual sociological model behind it. So actually, no. I can just cite them and say, no, that your theologian is wrong. The sociologists are correct.
Look, Islam historically gave freedom of...
Again, that's a lie. Like, again, the debate isn't about Western Christian, whatever that means, because there's no Western Christian society. Because Christianity is not a law. There's no Christian society now.
There's no such thing as Christian nation either nowadays. Nothing like that.
Also, that's not what the debate is about. The debate is about Islam versus Christianity as a religion, which causes most harm to society.
Right. I think the topic kind of
not that which religious society is more harmful.
Yeah, I think the topic went off tangent a bit. Both sides.
Is your camera out?
No, I mean I was stretching my legs, so I didn't want the whole world to see me stretching my legs. Okay, now I'm back.
All right, I'm going to end it here. We're almost at the 40 minutes mark.
Why were the Jews flourishing? Why were the Jews flourishing in Spain and persecuting the rest of the Christian?
I'm a Christian. Okay, if I live under Sharia law, could I proselytize Muslims?
I mean, you can try, but it doesn't even go anywhere with
I can proselytize Muslims under Sharia law. I can go out and say, yes, please convert to Christianity.
So now it's okay.
So when it comes to rulings and how they apply throughout history, we'd obviously have to use like a bigger sample size. In terms of, when we look at, for example, how Umar ibn Khattab teach the Jews.
Just answer the question. Can I proselytize?
Biblically speaking, you can't.
Exactly. You cannot. So no, you don't have
Biblically
freedom of
speaking.
religion. You don't have freedom of religion.
Allowed in Christianity too. Like there are
Yeah, I just showed earlier on I showed the chapter about apostasy, right? So that's pretty much it.
don't think
You
it
can't.
Yeah. You would have your whole city committed genocide.
Answer the question. Under
Buy back your
Sharia,
city.
under Sharia,
Under Sharia,
can
you
I
can't. Under
proselytize?
Christianity, you can't.
Okay,
Under
so
both.
there we go. So
Under both.
so under Sharia, no, you
No,
got to
no,
freedom of religion, as I just said. I cannot proselytize. Do you
So
disagree with that?
why were the Jews?
Do you disagree with that?
Why were the Jews in Spain for 800 years during Muslim rule? And why, when the Muslims were kicked out, why did the Jews go to Muslim areas? Why did they go to Morocco? Why did they go to Iran and Turkey and the rest of North Africa? Why did they go?
Because they got kicked out. That's just
Why did they get kicked out? Why did they get kicked out? They got kicked out. They were previously tolerated and flourished in Muslim Spain.
No,
Yes.
that's a myth. That's a myth.
That's not a myth. That's not
You can talk.
Yeah, your evidence goes against me, so it must be a lie.
like Hans Kuhn just now, he said
Maimonides said that the Israelites have been the worst people to us, and they
he did the same thing when the brother cited. Yeah, he did the same
I'm not
thing.
part of the Ottoman Empire.
You were just talking about Spain.
Spain is not part of the Empire. Spain was not part of the Ottoman Empire.
The idea that you have, you don't even know the history. You don't even know who the Almohads are. So how do you know this was such a good time?
I'll give you one even earlier. Okay, during the time period of Umar radiallahu anhu. So the second caliph of Muhammad peace be upon him. So it says here, this is Moshe Gill's book. Okay, so he's
topic. So we're gonna get to that later on, inshallah.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Okay. Yeah. I think.
We're gonna end it here, guys.
Wow.
Sorry,
Yeah, I think
sorry about that. It's a long stream. I think we
Yeah.
went
Yeah.
longer than-
But frankly, he
That's
didn't
quite the
produce.
fine
Yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah. No, basically he didn't produce anything new. He's just saying, "Oh, what's your evidence? What's your evidence? Who's Hans Kuang? I don't know who Hans Kuang is. Who's your theologian? Who's Hans Kuang?"
Okay, so in a nutshell, I think that the brothers should have mentioned this argument against Christianity to kind of show why Christianity is the most harmful. And
Yeah.
the argument I made is actually quite solid. And I'm going to present it here again so that you guys can see what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
Hold on. Let me share the thing. There we go. Let me share
Yeah.
this. Yeah. So here it is. So genocide is harmful to society in every possible world. Christianity caused genocide in the past and will cause a genocide again in the future in every possible world.
Hmm.
Because Christianity in the past committed genocide against Amalekites, Midianites, right?
Mm,
And it will cause a genocide against people of the mark, right?
Mm.
Therefore, Christianity is harmful to society in every possible world. Every possible world, right? Whatever world you can think of, Christianity is harmful there. Therefore, Christianity is necessarily harmful to society in our world. It's objective fact that Christianity is harmful. Now, you can argue against it. I challenge any Christian to argue against this. Show me how. Show me how. Anything you can bring up, any kind of like nonsense about child marriage, cousin marriage, and all this rubbish, nothing compares to genocide. Genocide is the worst crime against humanity. The worst crime against humanity.
Genocide is pretty much universal. Everyone agrees that genocide is harmful. Yeah.
Even most Western society agrees that genocide is a crime against humanity.
Yeah. Right.
So no one here is going to argue that genocide is not harmful. It's harmful.
Yeah.
It's harmful, and Christianity has caused this and will cause it again. Therefore, Christianity is necessarily harmful in every society.
Right.
Necessarily harmful in our society. Right.
Mm-hmm.
So, and it doesn't matter if you whine about child marriage, if you whine about cousin marriage, or if you whine about polygamy. All of this is allowed by Christianity. Right?
Funny that this guy raised issues about cousin marriages.
All of this is allowed by Christianity. So that doesn't prove it.
Yeah,
however, this is a genuine problem for Christian theology. This is a genuine problem, right? Because this is genocide, and the worst crime against humanity, and it's being allowed by Christianity and will be allowed again in the future. So it's necessarily harmful. Christianity absolutely is necessarily harmful.
Yes.
Now, in regards to his marriage against Islam, it's such a stupid argument. Like they already kind of destroyed it, but again, like his whole argument is that Islamic marriage possibly causes harm. Therefore, Islamic marriage will cause harm. It doesn't follow just because it may possibly cause harm in the past. But this is something that he can't even establish. If you show that a proposed marriage caused any harm.
Yeah.
Right? And then to argue that therefore Islamic marriage will cause harm in the future, or even it's causing harm now, like, it doesn't follow, because
Yeah.
just because something is allowed doesn't mean people would do that thing,
Yes.
right?
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
it doesn't follow. It's a non sequitur, and also
Yeah.
there's no evidence that this caused harm even back in the day,
Yeah.
right? Because people's biology was different, people's
Yes.
cultural context
The
was
the,
different.
the environment was different. The situation was
Yeah.
different. People didn't go to school at 9 years old, 10 years old. They go to war at
Yeah.
15. Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
Mm.
And then another argument he's making, he said Islam allows X, means Islam allows quote unquote a CP, and therefore Islam will cause CP.
Yeah.
Now, first of all, this is already false. Islam doesn't quote unquote allow CP because it's about age of puberty, which is
Yes.
acceptable in all society.
Right.
But that doesn't mean Islam will cause age of marriage at the age of puberty, right? It doesn't follow.
Right. Right.
You can have age of marriage, and that wouldn't contradict what
Yeah. Yeah.
what Islam says regarding
Yeah.
age of marriage.
Definitely. Yeah. Yeah.
So it doesn't follow. Just because Islam allows X doesn't mean Islam will cause X. Like, for example, as I mentioned, like, if my country allows you to drive cars, doesn't mean everyone in your country will drive cars, right? It doesn't follow. So it's a non sequitur. Like, his argument doesn't prove any of his point. But the argument I made clearly destroys the Christian belief.
Yeah.
And that's that. And inshallah, next time we will kind of cover some of the other points he brings up,
Right.
arguments and whatnot. And they actually, he brings up a lot of nonsensical research that doesn't prove his point. So we're going to go through that, inshallah. Abu, are you there?
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, overall, he's just repeating the same talking points that we have heard from many other places. And
Yeah.
as you mentioned, he didn't bring anything new to the table. He's just saying, "Trust me, bro. Believe me." That pretty much summarizes what he's saying actually. Like that funny incident involving hand squirrel. Who's hand squirrel? Hand squirrel. I don't know who hand squirrel is. Just Google his name, man. I mean, hand squirrel is such a famous individual that, I mean, this guy is, oh my god. Okay. He thinks he's better than hand squirrel. Okay. Wow.
Yeah.
Okay. But anyways, yeah, like you said, just because
Partner Ondulan says, by the way, guys, are you going to review the debate between God Logic and Dr. Nasser? There was one of the 3 debates.
there was a debate between God Logic and Dr. Nasir. I didn't know that.
Yeah. Maybe, inshallah. Maybe in the future, we'll see.
But by the way, who's
yeah,
Dr.
I
Nasir,
think
by the way? Know who he is?
Theologian, I think. Is,
Oh, okay. I'll watch it later.
yeah, I haven't seen it yet.
Okay.
Anyway,
Okay.
so I guess
Yeah.
that's about it.
Yeah.
Guys, thank you guys
Yeah.
for watching.
Okay.
It's already
Let's
been
wrap it
almost
up.
3 hours.
Yeah.
Sorry about
We're
that.
going to be 3 hours soon, man. This is like
Sorry about that.
one of our longest stream.
Thank you guys for watching.
I think the last time we did something. Yeah.
Yeah. Thank you guys for watching. Like, share, and subscribe, and definitely subscribe to the channel and subscribe to brother.
Subscribe to his
Amy and
channel.
channel.
Yeah.
I will
channel,
send you
yeah.
the link, inshallah, the collab link, inshallah, later on.
Yeah,
And thank
okay,
you guys
good.
for watching. And if you like the video, don't forget to like, share, subscribe. Inshallah, see you next time.
Okay.
Assalamu alaikum.
Assalamualaikum.